Beastie, find something to do.
Or post dinner hunting day. And just need to lurk around the house looking for anything edible for the next 15 minutes.
The hunger has not been satisfied.
Unfortunately, out of my hand. The sacred tables have decided how many calories you get, Peja. Indeed.
No.
All right. You guys feel about getting started here?
Sure, sure.
Well, as we discussed, take it away, Ryan.
I concur, Doctor.
I'm just kidding. So last time we kind of spent another session at Mount Einru this time, figuring some things out, doing a little legend loring, doing a little communication and war planning, and you found yourselves with a little bit of a gap in time between now and when you will need to be available to participate in the War Council. And with that, sounds like you guys have elected to head to PASA to investigate the goings-on with the Wengold Imperium's attempted infiltration of that city, and any complicity that's within the Windblown family, Quilla's family. But I don't think you guys finalized how you wanted to journey there and stuff. So we'll begin here on Mount Ainaru as you guys have like wrapped up communications and stuff, and done tied up any loose ends that you need to with planning and coordinating with like Vitaria and stuff. And then you guys can tell me how you want to head out to PASA.
Cool. I think one small communication thing that we didn't cover in terms of dialogue or information was that I was reaching out to my grandma in PASA and trying to kind of get some more detail there.
Oh, Estelle, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to use the facilities in Mount Ainaru to do some sending with her?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do some sending with my gran and see how she's doing. She's the one I think who told us that my dad is corrupted and things were bad previously.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell her I want to get a vibe from her first before I say if we're coming or not to her. But just reaching out, being how I want to know how dire is it and how I'm what's happening with the trading company. I've heard ill news with our connections for the Imperium. And how is my father?
Do you pronounce it? Is it Ruffello?
My dad?
Yeah.
Ruffello, I think.
Yeah.
I had this whole lore
Yeah.
with him and his brother and stuff. Ruffello, yeah.
Yeah, your grandma's voice comes back through, and it says, "It's good to hear from you, dear. I'm glad that you are safe and well. These are dangerous times. Things have progressed quickly. The Imperium spends money as if there is no tomorrow. And where their money flows, so do the interests of the great houses of PASA. And your father first among them."
Okay. Um, um, I'll reply that that's ill news indeed. Uh, has father been behaving differently? What is his day-to-day routine? And are there Imperium folk around in the open?
Yeah. The fellow's frightened, I think. Frightened of being the one who loses generations of work, loses the company. And he's desperate, very busy, unpredictably so. There's much work. The Imperium has or says moneyed people from the Imperium in the open in the city. It's why don't you I think this is behind them. This is a me roll, a you roll.
Okay.
Oh, that is a natural 20 though. Your grandma says the mistress of coin always worked in the light but cast a shadow and did not ignore that either. The gray market of PASA has grown foul, though.
The mistress of coin always works in light, but always casts a shadow. The gray market has gone. What'd you say?
It's grown afoul.
Oh, okay.
He's
Market has
saying
grown
that
afoul.
like the goddess Joaquin, which is the main god of PASA, and the church basically also the church like has public service thing that they do in terms of like providing like some amount of security for like the main marketplaces and stuff that's totally neutral, supposedly and stuff. And they also have the official like weights and measures that can be called upon in case someone ever feels like they're being cheated or something. They can like call one of the like the what do I have? I had a name for it, but now I can't remember. But they call like one of the church people over to like actually assess that the trade is being done fairly and stuff. But so like Joaquin's a god of trade and all this in commerce and whatnot, but is not, also is a god of that can oversee the gray and like black market to us and a certain extent, but is not like a god of thieves necessarily. So yeah, she's kind of like suggesting that like what was kind of within that purview has since recent events has tilted into the more nefarious and outside of Joaquin's purview.
Okay.
Portfolio.
So yeah, so like even the god is like not, it's like stepping outside of her domain because the market has gotten so corrupted.
Yeah, and like, it's kind of your grandma's like kind of like polite way of saying that like there's always like people that don't play strictly by the rules or like want things that are illegal or bad or whatever, but there's always like a space for that. She's like, kind of like old fashioned, doesn't really like it or whatever. But she's like kind of this like a very polite way of like saying like it's gone way too far. Like
Yeah.
without going into too much detail, like this is a very pretty harsh like criticism from your grandma.
Okay.
And also she like there's a literal like an under market. Like there's the Grand Bazaar in Paso, which like is like the main center of the city where like all the like trade and commerce happens and like both cities kind of built around and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's like the top level of that is for like normal like what you can imagine like a big like marketplace being, but like down below is where like a lot more like larger scale like commerce deals and stuff happens. Like instead of like going through the market and buying this and that, it's like, hey, I need, I don't know, 20 tons of like grain over the next 5 years or something. Like those sorts of deals are made down below. But there's also like it's also where gray market deals would happen. So
Sure.
she's kind of also giving you a location for where this where this stuff might be located.
So a lot of this troublesome stuff might be happening down in the gray market.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Mm.
I don't know if you could hear that dog. That was the longest, like, held noticeable line.
A whale for people.
Uh,
Yeah, that's a borderline howler right there.
Easy. You have a ball? Where's your ball? Yeah, where is it? I'm gonna give out their little ball. Embarrassing. They'll be disappointed in you.
You deal with it.
And then just sort of to fit my knowledge of PASA in with like the bazaar and everything, I had pictured Windblown Trading Company as kind of like at a fairly prominent corner central to town. I would say this is either like one of the corners in the bazaar or like adjacent to it. Does that track
Yeah.
with kind of what you're okay?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I was imagining kind of like like the big trading companies and houses have like these old buildings like around this like central like marketplace bazaar space. So they like
Yeah.
kind of overlook it and like have these impressive positions, and then like also get like they basically have like this building, then can have like space out in the bazaar like pretty close nearby and stuff. And
Yeah. Okay. That
Yeah.
that tracks with what I was thinking of PASA, so that works. Um, I'll just send a final message to my grandma and say, keep yourself safe. Um, if I find a way to come see you, um, I will come when I can. I'm not going to give her more specific information just in case, but
Mhm. She says um if you're worried about the Imperium, I think their people are bringing in not just gold but materials in vast quantities, trade goods, stone, timber, precious metals, uh, grain. They must have a secret route.
mm,
And they must have a secret route over the tyrant's wall, the immense cliff that runs on the western side of the Free Cities
yeah.
and separates it from the Imperium.
Interesting. Okay. Um, yeah, that's good to know. So I'll share that with everybody, and I'm wondering if there's a way we can cut, like, obviously, I know from what I saw previously that the Whisper Litany has been using my father and has been communicating with him. Previously, was communicating with him from her little from the closet in his office. Um, now it seems they have a whole route that runs into PASA. Maybe we need to cut off that channel as one of our priorities here. If we can cut off the flow.
Or use it to our advantage. Have the forward team take a look at that. Wait, no, they're going to Loomis. We're going to PASA. My bad. What up, kid?
Do not engage with the child.
He's just loving every second.
Hey, Alice.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think how do we want to head out? Are we ready? How's
Shippy's in good shape, right? Fully
Yeah.
healed.
Ship has been healed up.
What do you know about the routes into PASA? You know, like, could we maybe lurk our way in through this back channel using Shippy? I mean, disguise it as a cargo ship, get a good look at what they're doing, maybe. Maybe that's too much smoke too early, but
There's not a lot of airship traffic in PASA that I know of.
I don't
They
know.
put, like
never-
shippy
You're not
around
used to
there
shippies?
for that route.
Cruise around looking for a place to park. Is here okay? Can we park here?
We're talking about trade routes. I'm assuming boats. Is Shippy not a boat still?
Yeah, shipping could definitely be a boat, an actual boat. It would
Come
be,
in on the
it'd still
lake.
be a clearly magic boat, but that's not the wildest thing. Like there are boats that have some capacity that like help propel them faster and like do all this stuff.
Not a cargo ship though.
Pretty rare though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're more like, I mean, you could definitely be like, yeah, I mean, clearly, like there's, it wouldn't be the first time you could, if you really wanted to, you could like potentially like pass yourselves off as like wealthy, front, like vanguard of some, trading company that's like trying to put on a show of wealth or like prestige, like look at our fancy ship that doesn't need a mainsail but can propel itself up along the river. Or you could even, do any sort of things like but yeah, like there's, you're well versed in the ways of moneyed people and ships and trade and all this stuff. So if you
She's
feel
well.
free to go wild with some,
You've seen plenty of showboating.
Yeah.
do a whole like Aladdin intro.
Yeah. The whole dramatic line going in.
Hello, Evan.
Hello, how goes it all?
Evan.
Welcome.
Is this an all virtual game?
Not quite. I got the
Oh,
code.
what's up, Dakota?
You got Dakota.
And Sarah will be joining at some point, presumably. And
Yeah.
the party right now is just figuring out last pieces of how to approach PASA from space. Of course.
Burn it to the ground.
If we landed on the lake, we could come in on the water. And then kind of, I forgot, can Chippy be invisible? Not yet, right?
Yeah, Shippy can be invisible
Be
for
invisible.
an hour. Yeah, or no, it's even long. I think it's longer than an hour. Actually, that's something that I hope somebody took good notes of. Maybe I did at some point. Yeah, but Shippy can go invisible.
So I think we have a couple options. It would make sense to have come in on the water, especially, or if we could like disguise our ballista. Ballista probably aren't super common on the ships that come in and out of PASA. So
Not as much, but yeah, that would be
There
that
are
would
pirates. You gotta, protect the pirates.
be yeah.
We could be
Yeah.
a frigate, we're just there to help help people get from one place to another.
Yeah, like a VIP transportation company.
Yeah,
Can we just put a fake mast up?
You could like
we
put
could.
one up, do some fabricating or make an illusion or something. You could do that. Help.
Yeah.
Beepoop hands
Like
the eye
Gray was here.
patch to Tehran, like that they just knitted really fast.
I'm on immediately.
This will work.
Excellent.
I'm bringing
Arr.
half the stacks for the heads. I don't know why. I'm getting hyped, grabbing nearby stuff. I start looking around for something that looks like a mast
Yeah.
on the island, or yeah, on the mountain.
On the mountain. Something that looks like a mast on the mountain. Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
A
I
big
can
stone
help, you know,
pillar.
Yeah.
just pass, you know, passing the time until we walk out the door until we have a
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah, you can go look for things. There's plenty of like really big thing, and there is lots of just storage of raw materials and stuff in weird places.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
There's a whole closet over here labeled masts.
Just labeled sundry masts, various size sailing vessels, bespoke.
I would like to picture Nostrum walks out of his room with just like a tense, immense cloud of smoke as he like starts wandering around the ship, being like, "Why are there so many robots? And where's our crew?"
Dude,
They
you
quit.
gone a
We're
while.
looking for
Do we replace the crew with robots?
Not a bad idea.
Interesting idea, but no.
No,
Well, we
no.
don't have a crew right now. That's
But I could make more. I'm heading back down to the room to start making more robots to
make more crew.
run the ship.
Start fabricating. Yeah.
What kind of trees we got on this island, on this
I'm putting together an assembly line.
I'm okay with it looking like dog shit.
Yeah.
I just needed to pass a quick check.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Give me roll a d20 for me. Give me an investigation check.
All right.
Why don't we say?
All right. Oh yeah, this can go bad. Let's go. Oh yeah, dog shit. 8.
8. Yeah. The best you find is like there's like this big open area. It's like this big like food court space, and it has like various like islands of different like motif and aesthetic and stuff, and like one's like a tropical island theme, and like each table is like built or like around like a big like like coconut tree, and that's the best you got. It's not large enough for Shippy to be a convincing sale, but it's definitely a good start.
I'm keeping
And
busy.
yeah,
I'm keeping,
you
I do my best to tear them down.
yeah, tear it down. Give me an athletics check.
That's a 21.
21. Yeah, it's about to you start like hacking this thing down. It's like pretty convincing, and you're just like, well, why not? And you start chopping it down, and it's like about to just like fully like fall over, and you realize like that only the base is this like sturdy material, and it's like almost like paper mache higher up, and you're like oh, and you just like actually just jump in front and like catch this whole like fake tree thing and start trundling back to the ship with it. Everybody continues the discussion of how to proceed, and like a few minutes later, like Tara comes back with this whole, just dragging this whole thing. And
This looks like a mast, guys. This looks like a mast. I say we fake it. I don't wait for a response. I go back for more.
Excellent. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I think coming in and having Shippy, like, I mean, the dock on the lake is, the harbor is the natural spot to have Shippy. So we can come in either invisibly and park Shippy near there, or we could just, drop down onto the lake and then sail in, make ourselves known that way. I think if we can come in initially low key, that would probably be a good idea. They said that the Empyrean folk are out in the open there, so I would also expect that they may have a checkpoint at the harbor. So that would be another thing to consider, I suppose.
Mm. There would be, like there would be, if you like brought a ship into harbor, there would at least be some sort of like, toll or like, expected fee that would be assessed, based on what the ship and what you're bringing in, just just the normal like pay for infrastructure costs and stuff, ostensibly. Um, but yeah, but but you don't think that PASA is not a well defended city. It has never had to, suffer. It's in a long time. It has not had to suffer any like siege or major attack or monstrous or elemental catastrophe or anything like that. So it's grown a little soft, and you don't expect to, at least from your, some time ago, you wouldn't expect strong armed guard posts or something that you'd have to get past. Just like somebody coming by to like, hey, pay us the like 10 gold to dock here or whatever.
Right.
And like we're gonna look at your ship and the cargo and then you're good to go.
Right.
I come back with another bundle of fake palm trees, and I drop them, and I think, guys, I think this plan's kind of dumb. What if we just get on one of these boats that have a contract with using this lane? We're on Shippy. We'll be able to see anyone kind of making their way in. We'll just stow away on one of the ships. Can we do that? If we don't want to be noticed, don't want to bring Shippy along, they're gonna look at Shippy. Wherever there's any kind of like, it's gonna Shippy's gonna catch eyes.
That's such a good
Yeah.
idea.
I'm pretty sure most ships don't talk. It's gonna make it stand out.
Yeah,
So much more
We could-
piratey if we just jump on somebody else's ship.
it's true.
I got my eye patch on already. This is kind of what I'm thinking.
We could. Do we want Shippy nearby, or are we wanting to leave Shippy at the mountain altogether?
Oh, we should take Shippy with us.
We need Shippy nearby.
There's
Give us
there's
away.
and Mark, tell me if I'm usurping too much information about PASA from my own imagination. But on the south edge of the town, when I was kind of drawing up a sketch of PASA, the old city wall that's from like before, like, because PASA, modern day PASA is essentially like built in the center of a ruin of some kind of much larger city. But the old city wall had like almost like a jetty that's extended out just south of the harbor to like sort of protect the harbor a bit and also make it probably at one point more defendable, but that wasn't really, I don't think that's really been used that way now. We could theoretically we could park Shippy if we go invisible. If we make Shippy invisible, we could park on the south side of the jetty, or just sort of on the outskirts there, and not attract too much attention. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
That's not really a spot where the boats are going to. So it may be a good spot where we could get Shippy in close, and then we could do what we need to do, finding another boat or something. With my knowledge of PASA, with another route over the wall or the cliffs, do I think that's probably not up the river? That's probably over land?
Yeah, so
Because the lake's like on the other side of PASA from the cliffs.
yeah, so PASA's here. And like has access to this big lake, which runs, kind of also accesses Corkagan and the Twins and then out into the ocean. But PASA also is like, has like connections, because like there's also trade that like goes up the river to like these tiny little villages and stuff, but then goes like kind of overland to PASA. And that that ends up being like a, comparable or quicker journey and less fraught with all the dangers of the ocean and stuff that have often been pretty sketchy.
And I think that's a pretty well-established route for Windblown, because my grandparents operated out of Erdura.
Yeah.
That's probably pretty established for Windblown trading.
Yeah, so yeah, what your grandma like also was implying was like from what or like what she knows about like that, that trade and stuff, like just the amount of like stuff that the Imperium is like bringing in, that she's like, has some amount of access to that information, either just through like common knowledge. You're not sure where she's getting that information, of course. But she's saying like, yeah, like she knows like the climate of stuff that like that you talked a little bit as well with her, and like she knows like that they're like she's definitely saying like something funky is going on there with the amount of stuff that the amount of stuff and the cheapness of stuff that like the Imperium is bringing into the city, and it's like not it's not all coming through like the traditional like the normal routes and stuff, or if it's like being done secretly or something, like there's something else like fishy
Something
going on.
Going on. Yeah.
Doctors in her family's company. She's gonna know these things.
Yeah, exactly. She's got like she probably like knits with the other retiree former matrons of trade families and stuff.
Just
That's
holding things and
Yeah.
the PASA. She's
Yeah.
Hey, Quilla, what's the frostweed market like in PASA?
could be good.
Uh,
Could be all kinds of stuff.
robust.
Quill kind of laughs and she's like, well, I mean, it is a bit of a crossroads. I'm sure there's some market going on there.
I mean, wherever there's sailors, there's frostweed. You know what I mean?
Totally.
True.
True.
It's always worked as a pretty good inn. I'm just saying.
I thought you were after more blue crystal.
Hey, man, we don't talk about that. I only got a little bit left.
Nice. Yeah, I think like Quilla's family probably hasn't dealt in a lot of frostweed trade, but surely there's some.
You got to have a delinquent cousin or somebody who sells it. Somebody.
Yeah.
You got somebody in town.
Somebody, surely.
I mean, I got Fey frostweed, man. This shit's dank.
Are you looking to sell?
I mean, trade, whatever. If there's a soft underbelly, man, I'll find it.
Down in the gray markets, there's probably somebody down there, but that's where things are looking rough right now.
Not to play
Probably
there.
bringing its
I
war
said,
on
guy,
frostweed.
I don't think invisibility at a 5th level gives you any more time other than just people.
Yeah, it was like it wasn't it's because it's not just the spell. It's like they spent a shitload of money to upgrade Shippy and like a bunch of magic. So I can't remember.
It's got a custom setting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know I wrote it down somewhere.
Yeah,
but-
I was trying to see if where I had it noted.
Yeah, it's I mean it's certainly at least an hour. And
The little bit of notes I saw on the dock was that it was essentially you're supposed to cast it into Shippy's core,
yeah,
and that was supposed to have a reverberating effect for the crew as well. But I didn't see any adjustment for the time. So
okay.
if that was something you had,
Oh, that's right. I did add some of that info. So yeah, maybe I'm just misremembering.
just thinking about the mechanics of this
Yeah.
invisibility ploy.
Well-
I don't hate it, but I just want to make sure we're not getting spotted prematurely.
Yeah, in any case, it would definitely be like a limited thing where like you'd have to consider, because it takes some time to descend from the high like the space altitudes as Shippy gets like slower and slower as it gets like closer to the world and the weird stuff. So yeah, I mean I think it's definitely something that you guys could use, like, but it would also be like not 100% guaranteed. It wouldn't cover the entire approach in any case. But yeah, I'll just go with the 1 hour because it makes sense and it's pretty powerful already. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless I find otherwise.
So I mean, I'm cool with the invisibility, at least of arrival. Getting into the atmosphere, locking in our approach, and staying off the radar as best we can. I mean, if we're gonna skulk around, I'm still wearing this eye patch though, so as long as that's part of the plan.
I come out with a very dark cloak on that I've made since everybody's been talking about this, and I look great.
I look great.
I'm ready. We can do this.
I think the other thing we need to be aware of or consider is if the who is going to have mind blank and what we should do, because I suspect probably Whispered Litany's most effective ploy is turning one of us against each other, or like, you know, getting into our heads.
Well, unless there's a day pass, mind blank, I can't recast it.
We don't have any way to like store a casting of it in a device or anything, do we? In our magics?
I wouldn't.
I don't think I do either.
I mean, if we know where there's a teleportation circle, I could do that.
To get us in.
Do they have a
You-
teleportation circle?
PASA? Probably. Don't know where it is though.
I don't believe they have one set up. Not Mark.
Do they have any trees?
They
I
do have
think,
trees.
yeah, I don't think PASA does.
Not yet. I mean, they, you know, we've been talking about starting to work on one, but I don't think they
Yeah.
have one yet. Not a permanent one.
Other note I was remembering I needed to go check, see if I could find, because something we talked about quite a while ago was like the cities that you kind of identified, like the 3 cities that have or likely have like are like already existing teleportation circles.
Yeah, that's right. But we were
And
going to talk about having those used as like public transit.
yeah,
But yeah, I'd have to know it anyways, so like, you know, not gonna work. Yeah.
I think Nazira also offered to teleport us. Were you saying you have another skill you could help? Like another, are you saying you have mind blank, Nas?
No, I just got teleportation circle. I don't have the
Oh.
mind stuff.
Okay.
Although if you want some mind stuff, man, I got something for you.
I mean, if we get high enough, then maybe Whispered Litany won't be able to figure out what means what in our brains.
Don't worry about the Imperium if
Yeah,
we get high enough.
But then they have an easier time accessing your brain.
Mm-hmm. Probably best to remain sharp for this part, whatever that means for each of us. I like look at Nos.
He's always
Yeah, man,
sharp.
I'm sharp.
That's
I know what's
After-
going on.
After are we carrying? I know Shippy is generally like a great base of operations, but as we're starting to run into fouler beasts that seem to be invisible until they attack us, have we moved any like precious like our like collection is that for all that stuff? Have we offloaded it off of Shippy? Like have we moved that to Mount Inaru? We're carrying any of it. I'd like to be as light as possible, potentially.
I'll all be in the cargo so you guys can make immediate snap decisions to spend huge amounts of it at any moment.
Yeah, it's important.
I think
So-
some of it should probably be it.
You never
on the
know when you're
mountain.
gonna run into a djinn on the plane of air that wants a bunch of your shit.
Yeah.
You also never know when you're gonna have to resurrect people a million times. That's a lot of gusto.
I'm just saying, last time we were falling out of the sky with like 10 hit points left before Shippy was about to. I don't know what
Yeah.
Shippy would have done if he would have. How does a ship die? But like, but you know, I don't know. Just a thought. We can, we'll figure
What's
it
a
out.
hit point, man?
Just yeah, you're right.
I think
One of these too high.
we should keep some, but yeah, I think it's a good idea to offload sort of the reserves. You know,
Half. Put it in half.
put half in the mountain. I
Yeah.
think when we first got all this Zephyr, we did. I mean, a lot of it we did put on the mountain because we needed it for the mountain, right?
Mhm.
That thing, yeah, that like the Zephyr has already been separated out and stuff. Yeah, you guys like put a bunch on the mountain. Yeah, so if you guys try and do anything with a mountain really crazy again, then you might need to readdress how much Zephyr is there. But I think you guys have kept a lot of it on you. But I'll leave those details certainly up to you guys in your inventory keeping. But yeah, under normal operating conditions, the Mount Inaru has enough fuel now without consideration to last a very long time.
I mean, why do we have to be stealthy? Like, we're just meeting with your dad, right?
Grandma.
Well, my grandma's our contact, but my dad said, or she said that my dad is definitely has made a lot of deals with the Imperium, and that the Imperium is there and openly trading, engaging. Like Imperium is visible in PASA.
I mean, like, do they know we're on the ship? Or are they like looking for us?
Oh.
I think Whispered Litany will be looking for us if we go to my dad. But we could just go in bold.
Yeah, let's go talk to
As soon as we
Grams, man.
hear.
Yeah, we don't need to plan nothing. Just go talk to Grams.
I think
Nostrum,
we
I'm
might
glad
need
you're
a
back.
little plan.
I
I
drop
mean-
all of those bamboo trees, and then I drop all of those logs, and I just get on the boat. Oh, you're
What
right,
if we
Nostrum.
send a diplomatic party to go talk, and once we're there and split, and some go look for like whatever this new secret trade route is coming in from. We could go explore the markets and see if we could figure that out.
That could be good.
And then some of us could go.
DM always loves it when we split the party too.
I know it is risky,
Yeah.
especially when we're dealing with the Whispered Litany.
I like what Nostrum said. Let's just go. Let's just go and just show up.
It's because we're
I
all
have
as humans ready to.
I have an
move
eye
and do
patch.
things.
Have an iPad. What do you need?
We're pirates. We don't come up with plans.
I mean, I'm sure they've seen flying ships before,
are
right?
not
Like, this can't be
pirates.
totally new.
We do draw attention if the wizard listening knows we're coming and sees our
Yeah.
flying ship. But other than that, we can hide Shippy somewhere close by. That's fine.
Yeah. I don't really want. I mean, we're gonna be very. I'm positive that the Whispered Litany will be a part of this encounter.
Or we could just leave Shippy behind. It'll be fine. We'll come back and get him.
Just teleport.
I think having
It
ship
is
be close
easier
by
way.
would be good, but we could just
At least
disguise our trip as like a visit. It's like we're coming to visit Cool's family.
Yeah, I mean, we could. We can just say I was a little worried, haven't been home for a while, so wanted to come pay a visit. And yeah, I think I'll.
We don't need a reason for you to go home, right?
No, we can just
It's a
go
free
home.
country.
Yeah,
Just
man, let's
go.
just ditch the ship. We'll like keep in contact with it, and we'll go talk to Grams, man. Bet you got some good foods.
Nona's red sauce. Come on,
Man, I heard she got that good hay.
yo.
Good day. Grand Toast
You're
is
the only one here who likes hay.
Food. Food.
Dude.
Oh, Pickle wants food.
I think last time I saw Pickle, it was a puppy.
He still is
I didn't
technically.
Pickle's a large puppy.
That's that dog.
Big old
Use
puppy.
Shippy's invisibility to get us as close as we can, and then we'll have Shippy just hang out in a high orbit. It's not like you got airship dragons. But yeah, we'll move. We'll keep it moving.
I
So
think
Tots, that means you gotta come and fly Shippy.
Very well. I will keep the ship safe from all threats,
I
and I
like
will rain fire upon the city at your command.
I think this is a good plan, except for I do kind of think we should park Shippy on the water with Togetots on it, like hidden out, around the corner. Because I think that Lich thing could come back, especially if Litany is interested in destroying our ship.
Could be.
Well,
You don't think so?
I think they're on to Lumos at this moment.
Yeah, I thought that they were
Oh,
on
yeah, they
Necrarch
were
and they were
also
moving on towards Lumos.
fair.
They
Good
have
point.
bigger
Okay.
fish to fry.
Let's hope, I suppose. I still think leaving Shippy on the water would be an okay option, but whatever we want to do,
That's a
I'm
good
fine with
idea.
that.
Keep Shippy disguised as a regular ship. on the
Yeah,
water.
I mean that way
We'll
we've
scram.
got a secret weapon that we can get to quickly if we need to.
And an escape route.
Between the few of us that can dimension door, we could probably get to the edge of the city and then bamf out there without too much trouble.
Am I bringing the bamboo logs or the palm logs?
Yeah, we can always
Uh,
make something out of it.
maybe
Well, we
it
should make
maybe
it
As many
folding
masts
bag.
as you can
maybe
put
it
on it.
looks more like a barge than a sailing vessel.
We need more than that. All right, I'll leave him here. I'll make something out of it when we get back.
Nawsum
then
grabs
our-
some bamboo and he's like making a bong out of it.
It's like part of like Aaron's crafting closet.
Yeah, it's like don't touch.
I think like we could throw some canvas over the ballistas to make it look like cargo, and then it's like a barge.
Yeah.
Just parked outside the city.
All right.
That sounds good.
And if anybody asks Tehran can say that it's waiting to come into port and for when the shipment arrives, or when
Pirate vessel.
you know, yeah,
Call it a pirate vessel.
sure, whatever we need to say.
If anyone asks Aaron anything, he'll be wearing an eye patch
Or,
and
sorry,
he
not
will
Tehran.
immediately
I was
attack
thinking,
them as a
Togetots.
pirate.
Sorry, I meant
So
Togetots
attached
floating down the boat.
I
I wasn't
can't
trying
wait
to
to be a
make
pirate.
Tehran stay.
Can't wait to be a pirate.
Okay.
That's what you
I'm
should
doing-
be doing with
I'm
those
doing car-
palm trees. It's making a rope swing to swing in on.
I bring a couple just for shits and giggles, but like I leave the bulk of them behind. I'm thinking some sort of holding cell, and whenever we have these dignitaries show up, just in case a couple of them get out of line, can threaten them with jail. But a very impromptu jail. It'll look the part. Anyway,
Throw them into jail with a bag on their
man.
head.
can't wait to be a pirate. Bringing some logs.
I come
Start
back and
waking up
put a hat on Chloe's head that has a big Jolly Roger on the front of it.
Has a big what?
Has a big Jolly Roger skeleton,
Jolly Roger.
cross
Nice.
skull and
I love it.
crossbones right there.
Yeah. I love it. Pull it down.
like
Jolly
show
Roger.
up.
Is there
Beanie.
is there any other
Litany.
like information gathering we could do on PASA before we head out?
It'd be
Can we
nice
like
to
is there
scry.
anything to scry on? Yeah,
Yes,
that's what I was
ground places. Sadly.
No
but
shit.
I don't have a scry spell, I don't think.
I mean, I have a scry spell. I don't know anything about PASA though.
You can scry on
Magic
Chloe's
damage
dad.
and like,
I can describe some things for you or give you what is the rule? Do I have to give you something from there?
A person. You can only scry on a person. No, wait. You can't scry on an
You
object.
can
You scry on a
space
place. That's right.
on a place.
You can do a place and a person, I think.
Yeah.
Person or location. You guys can also, to some extent, use the Mount Inaru to
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Einar has
Yeah,
a
let's do
panopticon.
save your spell slots and make a couple scries if you like.
let's do a little scrying. Maybe on
Check out what Grams is up to.
yeah.
Or
You know,
interested in your dad. If you
we
could
could scry
scry
on
on.
Graham, we
Oh,
could scry on
I
my
think
dad.
we tried scrying like near him or on him or something, and there was a void or something.
We scryed in his office, and then he went into the closet to talk to the Whispered Litany.
We also got
That's
popped
right.
by a dragon last time we were scrying, so maybe we want to hold off on scrying a little bit if the Whisper Litany is able to access what we're able to see, or who is able to see it for us.
Wasn't that the strings being pulled by?
Or, but it did happen right after we were scrying.
Yeah, they I think yeah, you learned that from the sleeper, the dreaming dragon, that yeah, the basically yeah, the sister member, like the sister member monster, the shattered remnant of that thing, used just like made the bad guys scry on you guys, or at the same moment, or like your on Shippy, at the same moment, like the crew was using a communication device to talk to family members back home, um, and like that shouldn't have happened. It was just like this absurd coincidence, but it wasn't coincidence at all because of the influence of this
Sister.
sister member. Um, but yeah, yeah, that's just a danger. Hopefully you'll have a little bit of a spidey sense about it. We'll see.
Mm.
Yeah.
If we're scrying from Inaru, though, I mean, is it going to come attack our mountain? We just blow it out of the
He
sky.
just flies through space immediately. You see it out the window.
On site. What the fuck?
Well,
I
yeah.
couldn't
Let's.
say it. Go for it though.
I think we should scry. I mean, I think it is risky, like everything is right now, but probably scrying gives us a little more insight into what's going on and what things look like. Since I just talked to Gran, let's go ahead and scry on her and see just sort of where she's at, what her life's looking like right now, and then I'd say either scrying on the bazaar, like the gray market downstairs, or on my dad. Maybe start with my Gran and see what makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, you can start with the old grandma.
Stell or Stella.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Estelle. Let's see here.
Sell the battle axe.
Mhm.
um, I'm still getting one here from. Oh, thank you. Yeah, you see your grandma. Oh, that's two of those actually. Wow, it's still it's on a bad luck streak. Uh, so she definitely failed the like any like protection or save against the scry. But the scrying that you do see, like you see her like basically just like pacing. You see her in her like study. There's like a pretty large room in the immense building that your family occupies. She's in the place you recognize, the house that you get, the quote unquote house that you keep at the Grand Bazaar, the main headquarters of Windblown Trading Company.
Mhm.
She's in her old study that you recognize, and she is pacing back and forth, and you can hear her just like kind of muttering to herself, and it like sounds like she's working up the courage, or like something like she's like preparing to talk to maybe your father, maybe somebody else, but she's basically just typing herself up for something, or like thinking through something and like getting ready to do something. But kind of you just catch a few words, you know, about being uh, a great disappointment, a traitor to the family. You hear, wish I'd never given birth to you. Wait, she's actually not
She's
she didn't give, yeah, she's
yeah,
your, yeah, your
my mom's
dad's
mom.
mother-in-law. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. She I think yeah, she would express disappointment and say like something like I never thought you were good enough for my daughter. Like
Yeah.
she was yeah, getting ready to have a showdown or something with your dad.
Okay. Yeah, she's about to throw down with my dad. Okay. Noted. I wonder if we should tell her to wait. I don't want her to get hurt.
I want to interrupt that woman.
Tehran, if my grandma
There's
dies
no stopping
because we
her.
didn't intervene, I will hold you responsible.
Hold me responsible. Your family.
um, yeah, okay. So we see what she's doing. What do you think? Should we scry my dad or scry on the market and try to get a better sense of everything?
Rather know more about where we're going.
Let's do the
I'd
market
like
next.
to know about the market.
Yeah, let's
I
do.
want to know about
We've
the
tried
weed
your
market,
dad. I
man.
have a feeling they're doing like protection spells on him so that we won't be able to get him anyway. So
Yeah, we'd have to scry like maybe on his office or some space where he might be. But let's try the market. Um, based on what my grandma said, I want to try to scry like on the lower levels where I think like might be a space where some people are doing some dealings that might be this, most likely spots for this kind of sketchy business.
Yeah. Yeah. You like yeah, you start scrying on the space. You first like get this kind of just sense of the background noise and the hubbub of this place. It is exceptionally busy. Like the kind of like the under bazaar, the shadowed market, like it has a bunch of different names that people have vaguely have used to describe this whole area, but more specifically the not quite legal or extra legal activities that go on there. Um, you there you sense like first just like the great commotion there, or not commotion, but like the great activity. It is very busy. Um, very much more busy than you would anticipate. It is you think like very like still, let's see, probably very like pre-dawn morning, we'll say, in PASA right now. So if you guys like flew there, we'll probably put you guys like in the like late late morning, early afternoon, or yeah, probably late morning when your arrival if you flew down there with Shippy. But right now it's still like very early morning, or like pre-dawn, or very very late at night or something there. And there is a lot of activity, and you begin to hear like lots of like shouting and commotion kind of building up. Like you can see this lots of like in the whole like under area of the Grand Bazaar, like it's this whole like immense space that has some access to natural light through these immense like archways, stacked kind of like Colosseum, like walls and portions that like let natural light come through on the like east and west portions of the space. Um, but there's also like building. I mean, this is also dark, so it's like in this moment, like it's lit by all these like torches and stuff. You wouldn't anticipate there being this much activity at this time of day. And the type of activity you begin to hear, give me a perception check.
Okay.
I could use so many words to say nothing. So.
Perception. Not a great roll. 11.
11. There's a growing commotion, shouting. Sounds like cheering, not shouting in like anger, but like there's like cheering, there's booing, there's some sort of like commotion, like there's a crowd response to something. And then you begin to hear clanging of metal, of sounds of fighting, just barely discernible over that din.
Can I see like do I see anyone dressed as Imperium?
The lighting is dim in a lot of these places. Like you shift the Mount Aineru's systems, and like you basically like scry again a little bit, just kind of like maybe towards the direction of that noise, where like you can see there's also more light coming from that direction. It seems like, and like you shift the scrying over, and you with that roll you see people that you don't see any like people that are obviously like Imperium military or Imperium like servants of the Five Divines or anything like that. There's nobody's like wearing like obvious like uniforms of that would identify them. But there's like definitely a lot of give me a history check.
Also not great, but I have a better bonus. 17.
17. You definitely can tell that there are people, like you can tell by discern by like their dress, that there are people like that are probably from the Imperium. There's the mainly like the style and like the jewelry that they're wearing, which is extensive. There's a lot of wealth on display on a few of these people that catch your eye through the scry. A lot of like moneyed people from the Imperium in the war, like the under bazaar. And you see that like there is a growing crowd around what looks to be like a sunken fighting pit, where you can see two combatants go, doing battle with each other. There's you can tell that there is from previous events, there is already blood on the ground. The two fighters right now look, relatively fresh, with only a few wounds inflicted. That there is an underground, like there's a fighting ring that, from your memory, should not be in PASA.
Yeah. That's bleak. So there's like a fighting ring there. Imperium's brought people fighting.
Whoa.
Yeah, man,
Maybe.
sign me up. That sounds
Fighting
I
great.
was just about to say, fuck yeah.
Oh no.
Fighting.
No. No.
We'll cause a distraction, don't
Wait,
worry.
how many people? Wait. What kind of promo? Is this a small promotion? Is this a fight club, or is this like 30,000 grandstands? What are we talking about? How many people did you see?
I don't think it's to that scale because it's down in the underground market.
Yeah, you can see that like there were definitely like probably like at least 1,000 people gathered there.
We gotta go,
Okay.
people. We gotta go.
Many of those.
Nostrum, we gotta
seated
go.
Yeah, man, we
comfortably.
gotta go.
Yeah.
Wait, who was there? Was it just a bunch of like jokers, or was it like people with too much money?
I mean, the crowd was full of Imperium types.
It turned out to be some
Like
Imperium,
everyone
like
was.
You gotta get in
slave
there.
Coliseum.
Noose, you got some light
I'm
fingers. You need to
worried.
steal some riches.
Like thinking about Vance's comments about the slave trade and everything.
Yeah.
I'm worried that there might be bringing people in to fight.
It's free from the outside. We gotta get him on the inside.
We can find out.
Yeah, but like if we go fight in a stupid fighting ring, like that's
don't
not
have
who
to.
we're there to fight.
We can
I'm not
find
trying to
out
fight.
more
Save your-
information.
Save
Yeah,
your
find
hit
out.
points to fight against the Whispered Litany.
We got a bunch of them. The dreamer likes
what are
me.
these?
All right.
What are these
It's
hit
a-
points you guys
it's
keep
a-
talking about?
Actually, good.
Save your health for the Whispered Litany.
I start attaching metal spikes onto my knuckles.
It could very well be a ploy distraction on her part.
Right.
What did
Nostrum commences with centaur burpees.
Leap Loop, I'm gonna need to borrow your buff legs.
Oh, He's
Very well. I'm sure you'll put them to great use, my friend.
Oh, he's got the. Oh man,
And you'll
Yeah.
return with an excellent story
I'm
to share.
immediately
Oh, yeah,
jealous.
if anybody's going to the
Okay.
Thunderdome, it's Leap Loop.
Hi, Sarah, by the way.
Hi.
Sarah.
Why did you have to mention a fighting ring?
You
I
always
could have kept that to myself. We were
You could
scrying
have.
on
You
the gray
gave
market.
us the update.
There's definitely lots of Imperium folk about. I spoke with my
Mm.
grandmother.
Is the market in PASA or the market in Imperium?
In
It's
PASA.
in PASA.
Okay.
So
Gonna use the restroom. You guys, bring the zero up to speed. Welcome back.
yeah. So my grandma said that all the like high houses and people of PASA are following the money of the Imperium wherever it flows,
Mm.
and that there seems to be some kind of secret route because they're over the cliffs because there's tons of goods flowing into PASA for cheap.
I see. So
So we think there's a new route or something. Somehow they're getting a bunch of stuff over. And also that the gray market, which is like sort of the less legal elements of the city, have just like really grown a lot, and there's a lot of like corruption and stuff. Very active. When we scryed on my grandma, she was in her study pacing and like murmuring about talking to someone. Sounds like she's gonna go confront my dad.
mhm.
And then we just scryed on the gray market. The other thing we've been talking about is if how we wanna go in there. I
Mhm.
think right now we're talking about taking Shippy and uh, having Shippy land on the water and be kind of invisible or just looking like a boat kind of outside of PASA.
Okay.
But we could also just teleport and
Teleport.
leave Shippy behind, or teleport with Shippy, and then that
Mhm.
way we're there faster and have a ship at our disposal.
Very true.
But those are sort of, I don't know, I might be forgetting something, but I think those are the highlights.
Okay.
No, the highlight is definitely going to be the arena.
Yeah. We're checking out this fight club. If there's slaves fighting there, we'll get them out. But
Fight Club is such a distraction.
Yeah,
from
wouldn't you be killing slaves there if you fought?
We'll
I
do
don't know. I don't know
non-lethal
who I'm gonna run
damage.
into. I don't
What?
know who I'm gonna. non-lethal damage.
Lethal damage.
I don't
You
know
can
who's
use
going to be there.
maybe you
The
can convince
Imperium is
Whispered
there.
Litany to throw down.
We'll be able to find
Yeah.
out who's there for sure. And we can save
Yeah.
some slaves.
We
The
didn't even
underground
see
fight
what was
rink.
fighting in the fighting pit. I like to imagine that it was kittens.
It might be
Kittens.
good bait to call out the Whispered Litany
See?
if we let ourselves be fully known.
Natural performer.
Or the assassin.
Start jumping with
Yeah.
my buff legs.
Yeah.
Get pumped.
We didn't build those buff legs for nothing. We have not been getting our time out of them. That's for sure.
But we'd have to go there, kind of build up our names, I think, and
Yeah, I'm worried about the amount of
It could be a tournament.
magic energy that we would be spending.
Tournaments can get you notched up pretty fast and are usually done in a weekend or less, if not a day.
Yeah, man, just tell people there's a centaur fighting. That brings a crowd.
Telling you.
so I worry about the.
I mean, we're not going to participate. We're going to check it out. Come on, we want to look about the gray market anyway. Come on, it's going to be
Yeah,
fine. It's going to be fun.
I know
Look
we do
at
need
it.
to look at it and see what's going on for sure. But
Yeah.
remember, that's not our objective. I think it's a big distraction.
Fine.
It may matter, and it's right. It's a good idea to check it out. But I'm worried
Did you
about.
talk to your grandmother at all, or no?
Yeah, so she was the one who told us what I
That
know
it's all
about, yeah, that
okay.
Miriam's publicly out there, and then we saw that with the scry.
We
She's
should
about to go off on Dad.
talk
yeah,
to the grandmother first,
yeah,
especially
Yeah,
if
I
she's
think
about
it'd
to
be a
confront
good
the
I
idea
father.
I am gonna go
to
send them. I was thinking about
warn
sending her a
her.
message to not talk to my dad yet
You
because
could
Yeah,
do that.
tell her to wait
I'm gonna
until
do
we
that.
get there.
I think I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna let her know we're on our way.
Jason,
Don't talk to dad yet.
Quilla, what are your father's and your grandmother's names?
Estelle is my grandmother,
Okay.
and let me make sure I don't forget my dad's name.
Oh, getting some Great Expectations vibes.
Yeah, that's funny. Rufello is my dad.
Fellow?
Rufello.
Ruthfellow.
Rufello.
Awesome.
Ruphelo.
RUPH. Okay. Hello.
And I thought you weren't telling her we were coming because we didn't want the Whispered Litany to know we were coming.
I haven't, but I'm gonna I'm gonna like tip our hand a tiny bit, not
I-
fully.
I'm-
I'm just
I'm-
gonna tell her. What were you gonna say? Beep boop.
That doesn't seem safe.
I think just to tell her, not that we are coming, but that we don't go talk to my dad yet. Keep yourself safe for now. And I'm just gonna send that message after the scrying on her, and that way she kind of knows that more is at play.
yeah,
I think it'd be
yeah.
worth giving away our position to save your granny, but
What was that? You're worried about
Alright.
giving away our position?
no, I think it would be worth us telling. Like,
Yeah.
if we had to give away our position that we're coming to save your granny,
I
think it would be
know.
all right.
I want her to be safe, and I don't. If she goes and tells,
Yeah, I
like
think
my
she's
dad would
headed
never
into
hurt
trouble.
her, but I think if Mr. Litney's controlling him, she might be. So.
All right, but look at it this way, guys. If we weren't meant to fight in the fighting ring, there would be no fighting ring.
Exactly.
Okay, to be
Sorry.
fair, that did cross my mind, but
Forgot it was called
Every-
Chekhov's fighting ring.
Level appropriate contact.
Mark could have put a wizard college there. We would have been at that wizard college. He put a fight club there. Now we're at a fight club.
maybe that's the DM's ploy to distract us. To
I
weaken them,
know
so
that
we go
would
to
be
Mr. Litney. That's what I think it might be.
probably.
That's why Mark is such a successful DM.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
He knows his audience.
Yeah. Just a little misdirection.
And then next to the fighting pit, there was a big shiny pile of things.
That's why the
I
game
think
is so long.
yeah, including a satanic
Distraction,
looking book with teeth wrapped in human skin.
5 years
Oh,
later.
yeah, right.
Yeah, so I just want to like warn my grandma to not, and like I'm gonna assume that she's gonna understand that I'm scrying on her based on
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
say, so like, trying to
Smart
be
cookie.
clear that she should wait but not give away too much if I can help it, but enough of a warning that she's like, okay, like there's more things going on. I can't hear you, Mark.
Yeah, Mark, can't hear you.
Yeah, Mark, I can't hear you.
Dakota
Now
can hear Mark.
you're muted.
Just like real life, Mark just moves his mouth and nothing comes out.
Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I heard a yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
you get a response. It's just like a
Oh, cut out again.
No.
yeah, Mark. Just like real life.
So check 1, 2.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah. Now we
Yeah.
can hear you.
All right, I think maybe the laptop.
Check 1, 2.
Oh,
I'm just gonna
oh,
put this back to
Mm.
make it easier. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. You're not necessarily in sync with your mouth, which is great.
Yeah. All right, we'll just reconnect here.
Okay.
Mark's just a
I'm gonna
ventriloquist.
break.
This is what I always do in real life too. Have to reconnect.
Video on. Sound on.
Yay.
Yay.
Excellent. Cool. Yeah, Estelle, Grandma Estelle
Harley
replied.
went to the bathroom real quick, by the way.
Oh, that's well, I won't do that then. Why don't we just take a take a 5 or 10 minute break and we'll come back.
Sounds good.
And
All right.
Yeah, sounds good.
yeah. All right.
Hour.
An hour. Okay. Long enough to get there and get Shippy out of sight. Or onto the ocean, right? Ocean?
There's a lake nearby.
Lake?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lake. Lake,
Standard.
Yeah, big old lake.
Yeah, Lake Telthus, I believe. Yeah, Lake Telthus is there, and PASA is the farthest city there, and is has a harbor on the lake, and also has roads that head west out of the city to all the way out to the Tyrant's Wall.
Lost the camera.
Oh,
I was gonna
Very
ask
good.
Mark, did you guys intend to stop the camera? Okay, no. Cool.
can you hear us still, though?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Sound is fine.
Yeah, I don't know why that happened. But in any case, yeah. So what's the plan? How do you guys wanna make your entrance, grand or secretive?
1 second here. Secretive, I think.
That's what I'm leaning towards. And then once we're in town, I mean,
We can go
no
back and do a
excuse to
grand one if
hazy.
we need to in order to
Yeah. I
do
was
the
thinking
circle
Shippy could
fighting.
fly
Yeah.
in and save us if we need a
Yeah.
grand
Mhm.
escape or something.
It's true.
It'd be pretty cool.
Does Shippy's invisibility come from our own spells, Mark?
Yeah, it requires a cast into the thing.
All right, 1 second here. I'm just getting my
And
spells organized.
I think instead of having a cost or something, like I wrote in the thing, it'll just require a 5th level casting of kind of like what's the normal spell level for? Yeah, so it'll be the invisibility thing. It won't cost anything. It'll just be a 5th level cast a spell slot
Okay.
required.
Okay.
Yeah.
How
But
do I
no
get
payment.
to prepare spells?
Pardon?
Sorry, I'm having
Oh,
trouble with my spell
yeah.
book.
Yeah.
You know what you need, Nazira, is more spells.
No, usually it just has a button, but it's not.
I unfortunately don't have invisibility as an option.
I also do not have invisibility.
Did they change it after the update?
Everything's the same for me.
Just has the whole list of.
Figured someone was casting invisibility.
Well, I only have the option to learn and not prepare spells, apparently.
I wonder if they changed the framework for the wizard.
They
Guys
still
update
have
your-
legacy spells and stuff, and they couldn't do that. That would be dumb.
Which is exactly why they did it. Haha!
I mean, probably true, knowing WotC. Now you have to gamble for your spells.
Yeah, just microtransactions for your spell.
Yeah.
Loot
5
box.
cents for every time you
Fireball.
have to cast your
Ooh.
spell.
Ugh, I just like immediately saw the like breakdown matrix for the rarity of spells.
Yeah,
Ugh.
the whole economy. Yeah, just like gamify it all. Will be like Magic the
Yeah.
Gathering, where like certain
Yeah.
spells are extraordinarily expensive and some are super common and cheap and stuff.
But still strong, and you're just like, oh, this is actually great as a common. It's like, this fireball is a rare, but ultimately it's a bit overpriced.
Paid a lot for the artwork. They got some artwork on this one.
Still has full frame artwork.
Yeah, you can't get this one anymore. I was playing 3 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, heaven save it. Yeah.
You
So
can't- well,
what's it gonna be, crew? Let's
Yeah,
Don't know.
well, you know what we're gonna do. We're gonna cast invisibility and then teleport.
All right. So you're teleporting. You're the crew or Chippy as well? Sounds like Chippy as well.
Chippy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
the-
Where are you going to teleport to? So it's going to be Nazira casting the spell, but you did just you do have access to Mount Inaru's scrying. So if there's somewhere you want to like scry first to aid your teleportation, you can certainly.
Well, I also have a coin from PASA with the goddess of trade carved on it.
Yeah, it's also what I'm saying is like it's a kind of a big city, so you can teleport into different places within the city.
We're gonna go on the lake to the lake outside of the city.
Okay.
Why
Yeah,
don't we aim
if we
for
did it like really far out in the lake, and then we could look like we just sailed up.
What if we do it, yeah, like just kind of just out of sight of the harbor, just to the south, like past the jetty
Mhm.
that I mentioned?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that way we can, there can just at some point people notice there's a boat sitting out there on the water to the south of the jetty. Not probably that uncommon.
Since sea level, like the horizon's like 10 miles, as long as we do 10 miles out, we should be fine.
For like someone that's not that bright, you say some really smart things sometimes, man.
It's nothing stuff I picked up.
Pirate.
Oh, yeah. It did come with the eye patch, right?
As soon as he
Oh,
put the eye
man.
patch on, he knew all this stuff.
Yeah, can I get me one of those?
No.
I got one
Damn.
ready for you.
Can I get a
So-
double eye
What?
patch?
We bloop. I want it to be exclusive. I want another.
I
Double eye patch, twice as good.
I take the eye patch away and give you like a wood peg leg that you could use if you want.
Oh, sweet.
So you can have either 4 legs or you can have a 5th leg.
It's just a knee leaning stick. Let's just
Yeah.
strap it on my knee. That's it. I'm just
No,
excited.
man. I don't want to replace any of these beauties.
Okay.
With the chatting and the donning of multiple eye patches in the background, Nazira below decks finishes the arcane work to teleport Shippy.
I only have greater invisibility. I hope that works, Mark.
I'll allow it.
Okay.
That's like a 5th level spell anyway, right?
It's a 4th level spell, yeah.
Yeah, if you cast it at 5th, I'll still have like the 5th level requirement.
Oh, okay. It's a 5th level requirement. Okay, sorry, I didn't hear that because I was busy with doing D&D Beyond.
Yeah.
I think I figured it out though. Okay.
Yeah. So
And then teleportation.
you guys teleport Shippy. You guys feel that momentary transitory moment of transition. There we go. Of transition while you teleport into like through just weightlessness, through nothing, and then you are once again on board Shippy after this like flash of just like white light. And it is, as I mentioned, dark. It is early morning, very early morning. I think you can maybe, with the time that's passed since the scrying, it's like maybe just beginning to, like dawn is just peeking over the horizon. And you guys very effectively, well, I mean, very effectively teleport with, access to the scrying and the coin you have. Yeah, so you don't even need to roll. You're like guaranteed a pretty accurate teleportation, I think, with the piece you have.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's just like a slight bobbing and shifting as Shippy, Shippy's buoyancy levels out, and they
Joke's on us. Shippy was never meant for the water.
it just sinks like a stone immediately.
As soon as he touches the water, it just starts sinking.
Yeah.
I'm made of tiny holes.
Yeah, and you guys find yourselves aboard on Shippy for I think maybe the first time actually on water, floating.
I think so.
Yeah, I think this is the first time we've put Shippy on water.
Yeah. Shippy says, "Wow, I'm not sure if I've ever felt this before. It's been a real long time if I have. It kind of tickles." And you guys float and bob there. You can see the lights of the city out to the west of you, and you can see the dawn, light peeking over the Cragspire Mountains far, far to the east. And you are on Lake Telthus with PASA, just a couple hours powered sailing across the lake and into the harbor.
Did we hire people for Mount Ainaru before we left?
You kind of like set it in motion. You guys like reached out to some folks, including like
Ogda.
to help like get
Ochenti.
some people to the security slash help clear out parts of Mount Ainaru and stuff. So there was a talk of sprucing up the ship or disguising it. Are you guys still like thinking of just like taking it into that like nook that you remembered Quilla and like hiding Shippy?
I was thinking so, especially if we can arrive, or our invisibility is going to wear off probably right around dawn or before. So we just kind of appear as a ship that's cruising into, near port. If anybody happens to see us, should be, if we look like a regular-ish ship, maybe we can be fairly, discreet. Yeah, I think if we can throw canvas over our ballista, in a way
Let's do
that's
that.
like gonna make it, make it look like random cargo, and then have it set up so we can untie it quickly if we need to put it to use.
Yeah, and maybe we could get some of these robots to like get some water on board for the other robot.
Oh, smart.
Oh, that is smart.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
now
man,
that
I
we're-
may be stoned all the time, and maybe I'm locked in my room, but I'm still listening
Wait, why are you locked in your room?
because that's where the weed is, man.
Okay, okay.
I
Another
start
reason I'm
working on
out here is
getting
my
robot.
stash is running low. I'm hoping to get to the market.
We'll get you some more.
Togatats is here, right?
Yeah, I'm starting overboard,
thought-
putting buckets of water to make a nice little bath for my boy.
Just like set up a rope system and dangle him in.
I think he's
I
still
don't
has to
think
be
we can
attached to the
power him
walls from.
That
on
won't-
and do that
Oh,
at the same
okay.
time.
That's true. Like a fish you've caught and want to keep alive.
So wait a second. You took the buff legs, right, Beep Boop? Like if you've got the buff legs, the Leap Boop has just got the wheels right now, right?
I mean, that is if Mark is letting me take the buff legs this easily, then yes.
Definitely take the buff legs.
Done.
Well, the buff legs turned into wheels, so he's just
I
like
thought he had. I thought the Leap Loop had both. Had access to both.
Yeah, he
legs
has both.
And
Yeah,
at that point now.
that's
Well,
what's so
that
buff
the-
about the
the
legs.
buff legs were wheels. So does he have? Is he just a torso right now and a head?
I thought he had buff legs and wheels like out of his butt or something that he like
Maybe he
sat on.
does.
I don't.
Yeah,
You guys
probably.
tell me the
I just-
madness you inflicted on poor Leap Loop.
Leap Loop.
Poor
Well,
Leap Loop.
Togatats has got to be kind of here, right? Because Togatats can fly the ship still.
Yeah,
Right.
He'll
So
be fine.
leaving a pilot. Yeah.
Togatats can not actually fly the ship.
he can
'cause
direct the
cannot
ship. Ship can
himself.
ship
Yeah,
can fly itself.
He can command. He can captain the ship.
Togatot zeroes in on a sensation of abominations and just takes the ship.
Shippy, fly south.
prepare
There's
for
abominations.
Can you? We can include Togatats in our communication, right?
Sure. Absolutely.
Cool.
Would it take us hours to get to shore? We're still
Or we
using magical
could-
means of propulsion, right? When we get there relatively quickly.
Yeah.
Before invisibility ran out.
Yeah, I think so. Like if you
Okay.
guys have invisibility, like you guys could even just like lift Shippy out of the water so you don't make a big wake as you just like sail
Yeah.
over. And then
Yeah,
like
that's a good
as
plan.
if your visibility was about to run out or daylight, or if you just like yeah, I think you could get like into nearby the space that you're looking to get to before like the arrival of light was too obvious. That would make it like pretty clearly suspicious when a ship just appears there.
Make it look
With
like
increased activity and stuff.
make Shippy look like a shipwreck if we wanted to. Just kind of like keep him up on shore. Without a mast, he doesn't look like a broken boat.
Yeah. You just lift climb up.
I brought some of those logs. But yeah, I'm ready.
But yeah, I'd say that with Shippy's capacity and the invisibility upgrade and stuff, you guys are more than able to like sail Shippy rapidly to the harbor before like because the dawn like has to like come up over the mountains and like cast direct light down onto the lake before it's like super bright here, or the sky has to brighten quite a bit before it's pretty bright here. So you have a little bit of extra time beyond that first inkling of light. And so Shippy sails smoothly over Lake Telpeth, the cold lake in the early morning, towards Quilla's hometown. Quilla, do you want to share with us or share just a thing or two about what Quilla's thinking about? Like any yeah, it's the first time we've come back to PASA for
We
real. There was a
very
brief.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went to like a meal with my family. at one
Interlude.
point,
Yeah.
But that was kind of a side thing. Yeah, I think Quilla's like looking at the like bustle of activity and like kind of gauging it against when she left, and she's thinking a lot about like the different routes that she has like been so familiar with. I think like even as a kid, Quilla was probably like around the shop a lot. Even before she went to sea, she spent quite a bit of time like at the some of these inland spots and knew the trade routes pretty well. So just kind of like looking off in the distance, seeing if I can see like any activity on like any of the other roads off, like is there a dust plume coming from far away, like towards the cliffs, or like active trade going through there, or um thinking about all of that. And um I think probably as we get close to shore and as the sun starts pulling up, um she just kind of takes a minute of like, I don't know, I think a wave of nostalgia kind of washes over her. She sees like light hitting all the ruins outside the city, of like, this old ancient decayed city that was around it, or that, that was even bigger than Pasa is now.
Yeah.
And just sort of, I don't know, I think she's been like ignoring the meaning of being home in a lot of ways because she's been so like at odds with her family. But now that she sees it again, she's like, all right, fuck you, Whisper Litany. We got a deal here.
Yeah.
Amen.
Wow, this place is kind of a dump.
Nas. What are you
Wow.
saying?
No, I'm just saying, like, it looks like it used to be like a really cool place like a long time ago, but like, it's just, it's like a
Yeah,
dump now.
it's not a dump, but you're right that it used to be even more amazing.
It's not a dump.
Bro,
Yeah,
don't.
Quilla's a little defensive. She's just having all these big feelings.
No, I mean, like, you should see this place in the Fae, man. It is wild.
Ooh, I bet that is really cool.
Just like comparatively, like I know
How's
that's where he grew up,
how's the frostweed in the Fae from here?
No, man. Enchanted.
I'm sure it is.
Oh, beautiful.
I'll just kind of like share like the vague history of like the ruins, and that they think there was, there's scholars that are like trying to figure out what was here before.
Have they had any luck?
I think there's a small school that's been working on a lot of historic and arcane research. But my guess is it may have kind of been, you know, waylaid by the Imperium stuff these days.
I would love a chance to go there.
I'd be
Vera
curious
looks
what they've been up to.
particularly eager.
Yeah.
Nerd.
Oh man, let's get going, man. I gotta see this marketplace.
Yeah, you guys are sailing towards the harbor swiftly, leaving just a wisp of a trail in the water as you hover over it. Still invisible for a short time remaining, but as you like get near the harbor, like near where this jetty and like this little spot that Kula has imagined where Shivy might be able to just like tuck away and hide, um, you realize that like you can hear before you can see, like in the limited light, the sound of another ship sailing through the night or the dim morning light, as similar to you, heading its sounds position toward Asa as well. There's a moment where you just need to decide if you want to try and get into position before they get there while you have the invisibility, or if you want to let them pass by you and get into the position, which may leave you with a brief moment of visibility. But the other thing is, like, you can hear them. In fact, why don't you guys give me a perception check, those of you on deck and of interest.
27.
Natural 1. Anything that Quilla has to roll for her own storyline, she rolls poorly.
So many nat ones.
So many.
You're in your hometown now.
I know.
Also a natural 1. You're not alone.
Brutal.
Anybody else rolling? We've got 2 nat ones and Nostrum. I think you rolled. What'd you get?
27.
27.
I am downstairs with
At least
the
someone can roll.
boys.
I got a 23.
23, 27.
I always forget in this version of the app where the fucking perception is.
Yeah.
Mm.
Here. I'm sorry. This fucking natural 1.
3 nat ones.
My gosh.
Oh my god.
It's really
Wow.
foggy out here on the
Amazing.
today.
I think
Yeah.
we need to be rewarded with that with like a group perception check so none of us see anything.
Yar!
3 of us are completely
I have
blind.
No way, we're not doing perception on a curve over here.
So funny.
It's like the best stat.
You guys are, Quilla definitely lost in their own thoughts. Nazira, maybe excitedly
Analyzing
thinking
the ruin.
the opportunity to, learn about these ruins and also maybe find some new magic shops with,
Absolutely.
who knows what not treasures of knowledge. Tehran, so busy flexing, still doing those like handstand push-ups and like
With an eye patch on.
but you're thinking like that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
the exercise helps you think, and you're thinking about, is it too late to make something cool out of those coconut trees? We can still do something there. And a couple of you are able to hear like some voices carry you across the water, and this ship, whatever it is close enough that you can like catch, scraps of conversation from whatever likely like skeleton crew is up at this hour and like actually on the deck, even as they probably are coming to life in the next hour or so.
What flag is the ship flying, Mark?
Far too dark for you to see a flag. But you hear some conversation. I think Nostrum and Noose. You hear two people who are one of them like definitely sounds like a little bit intoxicated. But two people talking, and like one of them's asks the other if they're looking forward to any of the new entertainment in PASA. The other replies that something about like everything starting to cost too much. These like rich Imperium people are bringing in so much money that like it's like you can't even like get an ale and a bed after watching a fight. And it's like complaining about shit like this. You think that if you go on ahead, you'll lose the chance to like eavesdrop on this ship and a potential chance to get some intelligence. So that may color your decision. But from this distance, you hear just definitely there's some people just talking shop about what's going on in PASA, and it might be a useful opportunity, but it might put in peril your time frame for getting very discreetly into position with Shitty, if that's important.
I'm open. I mean, I didn't hear. I wasn't one of the people who could hear these
Yeah,
people
I think
talking. So I,
Up
as
to
far as I'm
Nas and
concerned,
Noose.
we're just hustling
Yeah.
along to a spot.
I
It's
think
up to Nas and Noose.
I think keep going.
Yeah,
We have
man.
more chances to hear what's going on around here.
Hey, everybody, shut the fuck up. We hear something. Shippy, keep it cool, man.
I always keep it cool. Nostrum?
I know, man, but like, keep it extra.
You got it. Flying extra cool. You
How does his
guys,
driving change now that he's extra cool?
there's like a little bit of a nice like wobble to it. It's like kind of style, kind of going with the wind a bit every once in a while, drifting. It's flying cool, flying casual.
Cool.
You don't notice this because you're
Persona is slouching behind the
downstairs.
wheel.
And you guys, yeah, I think in that case, you sail swiftly into the harbor, much as you remember from your so much of your life spent here, Quilla. You find this like kind of just hidden nook out in this around this bend in the last part of this river's like where the coastline is, it like comes up to the harbor in this jetty, and you find a hopefully pretty good spot to hide Shippy, or at least let Shippy lie low until they need to make an entrance or facilitate an escape. Um,
Not eavesdropping hurts.
painful, painful. Uh, yeah. So why don't you you guys can give me like a group stealth check, just for like hiding Shippy here.
Rolled okay on that one. That's exciting.
This is
20.
one where it's like you can definitely rely on your experts. So have a couple bad rolls are not as like critical
no.
as like a situation where each of you has to individually pass by
Everybody
something.
froze.
16.
You froze for a moment, but now you're moving again.
18.
18.
28.
You're both fine for me, so.
That's a 5 from old Tamer.
9, because I have disadvantage.
Man, you gave me the
You can
elven
ignore.
cloak.
You can definitely ignore the disadvantage like imposed by armor. This is like
Oh,
like an intelligence like planning thing and not a like in the moment being stealthy thing.
well
More.
then, my first roll was an 18, so it's 21.
Nice.
I am.
Hello?
Did you get my
Hello?
28?
I can hear you and not see you.
28, yes. Got it, 28.
Okay.
I got, I don't know, everything froze for a sec. And restart.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Cool.
I had a 16 if that wasn't.
Yeah, all good. You guys do a pretty thorough job, Newts. You do last checks investigation and like take a few moments to like just look for the ship from a distance and like do the full assessment. With your efforts combined, you think you've done a decent enough job here. Certainly if like there was any like thorough search of the area, it's difficult to hide an entire ship with without magic.
Oh, yeah.
So it's but from like ships coming into and out of the harbor and stuff, you think that it's unlikely they would spot it from ship deck.
Oh,
Good. So now,
We'll see you.
oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, we'll see you later, Shippy.
Yeah.
Oh, right
Ready?
here for your
Okay.
return, co-captains.
We may call to launch up in the air too, depending on
I make
what we
sure
encounter.
everyone's linked with Rari's. Zira's telecommunication.
Yeah. I'll be ready to jump into action at a moment's notice. Just give me the word, and Togetots will be my eyes. I will lead the ship into glorious battle on your behalf.
We will vanquish all abominations from this plane.
Yes, yes, to victory or
To
death.
victory!
To victory!
I don't know if you guys should be encouraging him or not.
Yeah.
It makes him so happy, though.
He shoots off like a tiny burst of flame in the air.
Completely hidden ship, but a burst of flame.
I'll be right back. I gotta run upstairs real quick to help out with the children, but play on players. I'll be
Okay.
hanging out with the. Oh wait, I'll be in the rear.
Excellent. So, leaving Shippy behind, you have some trekking across like a little bit of like the outer like ruins and stuff of the old city, and then on into PASA itself. Um, any plan or intention? Any magic? Any hiding? Any disguising? Those sorts of things going on? Anything else in your approach? And also, like, yeah, Quilla, I think like taking the direct route from here will still like I think take you like into the harbor itself, which will definitely like give you a chance to like just blend in with a large and diverse crowd of merchants and traders and people coming and going, probably even in the wee hours. But that there also will be like some members of the Church of Joaquin that are out and like helping with like the assessment of like the tolls and stuff associated with the city maintaining its open market and stuff. So there'll
that's
be
another.
some of those things going on, but you don't expect from the route you're coming any like significant like security checkpoints or like stuff like that.
Be right back.
Quilla,
Yeah.
let me run this by you. We might be able to get the Church of Joaquin on our side, because if the Imperium moves in, all worship of Joaquin will be obliterated.
Yeah. That's a good point. I bet Church of Joaquin might be open. What do I know about the Church of Joaquin and like um the church's role in PASA, Mark?
Yeah, the church is like kind of like the it's largely like an politically neutral, more or less, or like historically has been. It's really like um uh its role is to provide a more free, like more fair, like marketplace and like an agreed set upon just like rules and stuff and like safe place for exchange and things like this to occur. But it's the great, it's the big houses like Windblown, like Forest Strider, like the Down Facer Enterprises, like Arabian Earthworks and Point Maiden's Will, like these other like companies and stuff that are pretty influential. But
Mhm.
the church is responsible for basically like maintaining the like public space, and they like assess tolls and stuff for to that end and whatnot, which have always been like pretty seemingly like pretty fair and minimal. And but yeah, the church, like, yeah, like they have a lot of like people with like like priests and stuff, but they're like in many cases much more like civil servants than like like priests. They're not like out there like necessarily like preaching and things like that, but they're, like I said earlier, like at the Grand Bazaar, they have like the official weights and measures that like can be agreed upon, and like they can be called upon to help like address any like disputes and things like that. And they like, if people are found to be like cheating in a deal, there are harsh punishments that can be meted out through the church's authority and stuff. But yeah, so it's kind of like the external authority that the various powerful interests and stuff can like all kind of have historically agreed to have seats and authority to and
Yeah.
stuff.
So like
Yeah.
basically the realm of commerce within the city is sort of governed by this church.
Yeah, like in a lot of ways, like kind of just gently, the space is managed and like governed by the church to some extent, but yeah, they don't like intervene like on like specific like deals or anything aside from like showing up like, hey, actually that's you, there should be more grain in this pile, or like, oh, that's actually not as
Right,
much gold
like-
as you said, or whatever.
Unless there's
Yeah,
something that's,
govern
like
the trade code.
deceitful.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Mhm.
People that cheat on grain deals are fucking disgusting.
As a fully armored and kitted paladin, I'm doing my best to kind of hide a lot of what I'm kind of walking in with, including
Yeah.
a halberd that's probably sticking 2 feet out beyond my neck. But realistically,
Cloak
I
or
check with
something.
everybody to make sure everyone's. You got walking around money. Everyone's got walking around money. Everyone good. All right, we're gonna meet at the food court.
Ready, pack your lunch.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody eat
Meet by
before
the
you
orange Julius.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Everybody got their money. Okay, good. I think Tehran is gonna go to this church, or find a chapel of this church,
Mhm.
for his. We morning or evening right now?
Early, yeah, still pretty early morning.
Early
We
morning,
like
so-
getting in at like,
I'm gonna find a chapel for early prayer
Okay.
and go maybe see if I can speak with a chaplain or maybe an abbot.
And Mark, you can correct me if you feel differently about PASA, but in my envisioning of PASA, pretty polytheistic place.
Yeah.
I think this church of, the Church of Joachim is probably, handles a lot of the business stuff. But as we start getting into town, there are it's pretty common to see like various houses of worship around town. There's even one that has like a handful of different gods on the front of it, and it's like kind of all the lesser gods as like a place, and there's like some kind of token or symbol inside for just about any deity that isn't otherwise represented. And it's sort of like there's like a little placard on the door that says like that you can come and worship, and if your god isn't represented here, feel free to like basically create an altar within the space.
Hippies, huh?
So
Okay.
tempting.
I'm specifically looking out for the Church of Joaquin or someplace to worship, or but like realistically, I want to see what this church is that's governing trade and how they operate, and like what we could be seeing as potential real authority to deal with here. But realistically, get some prayer on in a holy place. So, but yeah, I'm heading for some version of the Church of Joaquin, some abbot or cathedral, something they got nearby.
Yeah.
Do they also have churches of the five divines here?
No, historically, but that might be different now.
Tell the party I'll meet up with them, try to find them in the market later
I'm
on.
not sure what all the churches and houses of worship look like now, if there's a open imperial influence.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Zero wants
yeah.
to sorry, real
That's
quick.
what I was just about to say.
Okay.
You know, if there is some amount of like splitting of interests and like investigation and effort here. Why don't you guys tell me the different splits, and then maybe we can take a little bit of a break, and I can prep for a few moments what those
Okay.
might look like. But Dakota, you're going to go investigate the church and get your prayer on, perhaps.
Yeah, make my way to the market eventually.
I want to make sure that
Considering
nobody
it's
goes
early.
off by themselves, so I'm gonna go with Tehran then.
Yeah, make sure everybody at least has a buddy in
Mhm.
the buddy system.
Buddy
Uh,
system.
Did
for
I
sure.
tell Beep Boop about what I discovered last time? Yes. All right. The only thing I left out is the thing with Ogma and Sister Remember and her brother, his mother and
Oh.
uncle. Otherwise, you guys know
that,
everything.
that thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'd probably go with news to see if there's any soft underbelly, Thieves Guild, somewhere I can make some connections if he was down for that.
Yeah, Noose would probably find some places in the shadows to irk out some information. Probably try and stay away from the gray market until we're all together.
Hmm.
But maybe go near there. See if I can
Quilla,
find Scuttlebutt. But
Nazira looks at Quilla and says, "Hey, want to take a bet?"
Oh yeah. What?
As she's looking at the pluralistic temple.
Mhm.
I bet they don't have a idol to Sharavash.
Oh, who's Sherivash?
Elven god of revenge.
Ooh, maybe we should leave a token.
Mm-hmm.
I was really hoping you two were going to go to the arena.
straight there.
That would have been so funny.
That would have been really funny.
Gotta start training, get on top.
I can win the blood fight. Nazira goes in with no magic, just a sword.
Yeah.
Gonna kill me some slaves.
I bet they don't have anything to Mayloon yet either.
Ooh, that's right. They don't.
And Squilla like picks up a stone and just starts like, with like a really small knife. I'm just gonna start carving like a kind of like the sickle of a moon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna kind of just be fiddling with it as we go.
Yeah. Excellent.
But they don't
So
have
what
an altar to Jerry either. Maybe make
Jerry?
a little
What
little icon
information,
to Jerry and add
Nazira,
it to it.
Sorry, I can't hear Mark. What was that, Mark?
what info or what destination are you and Quilla headed towards?
I think we're gonna check out this place first, and then
go to my grandma's.
and then go to grandma's.
The little the church, the shrine for the various gods and such,
Yeah,
and looking to
yeah.
see if they have a raft and at
Absolutely.
Mayloon. Excellent.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then head to grandma.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. Why don't we take a 10-minute break and we'll reconvene with a triple split of the party.
Perfect.
What could
You're
go
welcome.
wrong?
Perfect.
Mark, if you would like to chat about some of the things I know about PASA, I'm happy to, but also feel free to just improvise whatever you like.
Okay. I might give you a call. We'll see. We all back?
Yeah?
Yep. Oh, let me turn on.
Biggity backpack.
Biggity back.
I'm here.
All right. I think you guys all like move as a party, as a group, through, from Shippey towards, deeper into the city from this outskirts area. Quilla giving you some. Sorry, did we hear from Carly? Is Carly here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Just
Sorry, I was just
didn't see you and I forgot.
putting a couple things
momentarily.
away still, and
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, I think you guys spent some time like just navigating for the party through the old city, the ruins and stuff, and the outer areas. And if you'd like, you're more than welcome to point out any places of interest or give a description or like a rough kind of like guide for what the party sees in the portions of this throughout here.
Sure, yeah. Oh man, I feel like I'm about to sneeze.
While you're doing
Uh,
that, before
Full allergies.
we split, I do have an idea that I want to run by the group. So whenever there's time for that, let me know.
why don't you go for it? Because I feel like my nose is
Okay.
about to explode for a sec.
Perfect. All right, I had an idea. What if only a couple of us, or one or two of us, join the, if we want to try to draw the litany or the assassin out, one or two of us join the fighting ring and make a big deal about how it's just one or two of us um, from the Big Help Gang,
I
and
can go.
they might see that as their chance to strike, but unbeknownst to them, there will be more of us lurking nearby.
I'm thinking me and Beep Boop are probably going to draw the attention of a couple people. We can go there
Yes.
right after I'm done with
Okay, don't
morning
start
prayer.
anything until we're all together.
Well, trouble might
But-
find me.
It might serve as bait, in other words.
Beep Boop puts both of his hands in his front pocket and nods and says, "We won't start anything until you guys get there."
Nazir looks like this is very suspect, but
Yeah, probably about as much of a promise as we're gonna get from.
yeah.
Beep
Yeah, it is. All right then. We'll see you guys in the gray market. And we give our false promise and walk away.
Boop.
Perfect way to get them to attack you and either kill you or vanish before the rest of us show up.
You're talking about me and Beep Boop not staying out of trouble? Oh,
Why do you think I chose to
imagine
go with
Moss is probably
Tehran?
excited.
yeah.
Yeah, as we're walking through the ruins, I point out a couple of the like more well-known ruins and like you see as we get like as we uh walk along like kind of the south edge of the harbor, the way the path follows around, you see like um on the other side, like we were kind of off in the jetty, like over on the other side, but there's like about halfway out this sort of spit of land that leads to the jetty. There's an old tower that's part of the ruin, but it's been fairly well restored. Not, it doesn't, I mean, it looks older than like what you see ahead of us of the like the inner city. But it's like this tower and the battlements at the top kind of have these swoops. So like rumor has it that it used to be called the South Crown, but that's been kind of like, and then there's a similar one over on the north side, but that's sort of like since the Imperium has become more and more of a threat, that name's sort of stopped being used. Any kind of nod to monarchy or imperial rule is less favorable these days. But they're sort of the like traditional like lookout posts over the harbor. And there's one to the south and one to the north. But they're, at least last time I was in PASA, they had people up there watching out, just kind of keeping an eye on everything, but it was very low key, you know. Um, probably, mostly just overlooking like people in the harbor. Probably checking off that nobody's like leaving the harbor without paying the dues and things like that. It just kind of happens to be there.
So they could be beefed up, they could be potentially abandoned. But
Yeah.
it was a lookout at least at one point in time.
I think as we walk by, I'm guessing they look kind of similar, unless the Imperium has really piled people in there. But there's those, and then like there's also like you can see sort of as we're coming in off like to the south of where we are, there's just like probably half a mile or more of ruined city. There's like a couple towers. Point out one that like as far as I know, it's been called the Baker's Bell, and it's like it looks like an old bell tower. There's like legends about that there used to be a big bakery over there. Unclear why the bakery had a bell tower.
Hold on, change everything. We're going towards the bell tower.
And I don't know, I have lots of little stories about like, oh yeah, like we used to follow the path over there when I was a kid, and there's this little like subterranean space that we would go and harvest this like moss from that would get used by the candy shop. They'd give us free candy if we could bring them like a pound of moss. So
Nice.
The architecture ring any bells?
You're not trained in that, so just be what, a history check, I think.
History check. 27.
27. Very, very old city. You can tell, I think, Nazira, I think, well, first, like, Quilla, do you have any insights here that you would like to share first? Then I can add and fill in some gaps, perhaps.
Really, you're so detailed.
I think the biggest thing being just that like the scope of these ruins is a little bit overwhelming almost. It's just so like the fact that like Pasa's a pretty good sized city, but like the fact that these ruins look so big and some of them are really tall, like so having so much go on for so far implies that the city used to be like gigantic.
Mm-hmm.
So mostly the scope is kind of breathtaking.
Yeah. I think, Nazira, like, there's something that you begin to notice from the architecture of the ruins and stuff, and like, this clearly, like, there wasn't there are elements of this that remind you of structures in the Secret Kingdom in a very specific way. And that is that this place, this ancient ruin, was absolutely a place of a significant mixture of different styles, different traditions of architecture that were working out a new like way of expressing themselves within a different within close proximity. Like there's like the union of certain of architecture in certain cities within the Secret Kingdom between like the dwarven and elven like traditions has created like many novel and like interesting like ways of expression where those things have like mixed interestingly and stuff, and they've responded to each other. And this city, like, you're beginning to like be able to like piece together in your mind's eye like images of like what it may have looked like in some ancient time, and it was very much a city of very much a cosmopolitan place where there were certainly traditions that like you can even see like there's definitely an elf like designed this colonnade, and then like you could like just like pick out these different pieces. But this was definitely a city that saw a great mixture of peoples and traditions that built up over time.
How old does it compare to the City of Unity from my backstory?
Uh, that tough to like gauge the state of the ruins here.
Just do some light carbon dating, don't worry.
Yeah, just a quick like you're just walking along, taking samples, like running spinning beakers and
Yep.
vials. Yeah. Um, you think this is like definitely an ancient city that uh probably saw its height, like during the long like collapse of the ancient civilization. And you think that like PASA now, I think that you think that it's hard to tell specifically because there's been like reoccurring like redevelopments of this place that have like the city has like grown and fallen multiple times over these like long like thousands of years. So like some of that like mixture of styles is like people like rebuilt some ruins and then like added their own like parts to it in like a mixture of things, like taking what was there and like rebuilding and adding onto it, and then like that society receded or collapsed or something. So like Pasa's, you would guess probably like the fourth, fifth, sixth major city that built itself here. And so it's tough. It's like there's parts of it that probably predate much of like Unity, the city of one of the big city that was established in the Secret Kingdom after, like, that was the one that was established after the elves arrived, or is that the
No,
one
that was the one I investigated with my little team when I first left.
the Dune
It was
team?
it was the yeah, it was the underground city with like the
Yeah.
dwarf, elf, and drow architecture with the oath stone in the middle.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. Okay. So in that case, that there are, with our role, there are parts of the city that probably could potentially date to a similar time frame, but those are like the oldest parts of it.
Okay.
Do I see any along my walk? Do I see any busts or statues
Mhm.
of people flexing at all?
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely,
Like
yeah,
broke, yeah, for sure.
100%.
I stopped to gander to see how ripped everybody was
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah, there's a whole like section that's like there's probably some place you're like going through that had either a celebration of like heroes or something, or it was like a big like workout space. You're just imagining all the buff people as represented by these statues like along this path, like doing amazing things here. It's tough to tell. Definitely, maybe a little bit generous in their memorialization in these statues. But if they're anything to go by, definitely there were definitely some beefcakes in PASA at some point in the past. 100%.
Tehran is impressed, but it's nothing he hasn't seen before.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, I mean you've flexed up
Seems-
with an elemental like gin of air muscle.
seems like this was a once proper city.
Yeah.
This is a great place to be at. I bet it won't.
Had some good gyms. It's all right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, yeah, you guys venture deeper into PASA through these old ruins. You see that there's definitely more signs of like people, passing through, living in, or occupying like some of these ruins. Like you pass by like some what look to be like, groups of people that are just in like small, like roughly kind of like put together like shelters and stuff, surviving in the ruins. There's graffiti in places around here. There was one that you noticed on the South Crown ruin, that said, there was like one that said like like just Gwen Gould's go home, and then there was like somebody like had come up past that and they wrote like the 5-star gold spends just the same, as in like the Gwen Gould money is just as good as anybody else's. So like there's definitely like like graffiti. There's multiple perspectives on what's going on here. But there's like some parts of the city that are just like, yeah, like we want the money, it seems, and others that are less pleased about the changes that have occurred here in PASA. But you're seeing signs even in the outskirts that things are definitely different from when you left. If only beginning to notice those changes, but you're
With
heading towards. Uh-huh.
can I ask a question with the tagging? Is there a does it feel like there's like, one response uh for every tag against the Imperium? Is there one response for it? Like, does it seem like pretty even in terms of the viewpoints being expressed, or is it
Yeah.
like
Give me
what's the
insight
proportions
check.
here?
Yeah. Give me an insight check.
Certainly a clash of opinions, if not cultures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, of course, I rolled terribly. Um, insight, 12, even though I got a
Well,
+8.
I mean, really tough to tell. You're only also getting such a small, portion as you kind of wind your way through here. But
Yeah.
it definitely seems like there's a lot. I think the thing that you notice, like with that, it's hard to tell one way or another if there's like a more or less of one in total. But you notice that like as you get closer to the city, like there's more pro Gwengold tags than there were at the farther outskirts.
Okay.
And it's like you get closer to the city, you're like getting into the places where you do begin to see these members of the Church of Joaquin going, beginning to notice them as they're like going on their like um, patrols and stuff. They do also just like I said earlier, provide like the basic amount of like security and stuff that exists within the city. And so they do like the basic safety patrols and stuff, such as they are to keep the worst elements of crime and such at bay. And yeah, as you get into the city, you see less of that. You see much more signs rapidly. You go rapidly from the signs of like people living at the outskirts of this to signs of lots of money being moved around. Like there's already you see lots of activity as you like head into like the outskirts of the harbor as you kind of like pass through portion of the harbor, I think, to as you like go in, most of you I think go in towards the interior, the center of the city where the bazaar is. There's a great amount of activity. There's huge trains of cargo and wagons being moved around. The thing you notice, I think, about the Church of Joaquin people as they are moving around, they are harried with how busy everything is, even at this hour. You see them what used to when your last time you were here, they were always like calm. They were always like just like cool, just like available to assist people. They were like very much like I said earlier, like public servants that would help you like just help you navigate around town. They just like do lots of just like generous like things just to help facilitate activity in the city outside of like any of their official duties. But you see like there are like the groups of them that you do see as they're moving around, they're like quickly like move like basically like one like you see a group that's like chasing after this like departing like wagon train that's like going deeper into the city, yelling up that they haven't like finished their inspection. Like there's like another group that's like you see them like going back uh, as they're like just shuffling off like very rapidly towards the harbor itself. It is very busy here, and like there's you see that where there has been like if there is like anti-imperium tagging, there are like also spots where you see in this more towards the interior of the city, you see like they've been like painted over or like scraped off. Like there's like some amount of like attention being given to voices of dissent expressed
So
in the walls.
I think what I had been thinking originally when I was developing PASA's lore was that part of public education is that kids learn something about like contributing to their city with like some basic like prestidigitation kind of magic, and so kids will go out and do like basically like civil service as part of one of their classes, which is a little ridiculous,
Yeah.
but it's like cleaning the city. So like inside the urban like center, like I imagine most like graffiti and stuff would be just like, you know, bamfed away.
Yeah.
Because the inner city, given how like rough and old the ruins look inside the city core, it's quite pristine and well kept.
Mhm.
Partially this effort of like, you know, even kids learning how to like tidy up things magically, um, with like, you know, like basic cantrips that are easy to teach widely.
Yeah.
Um,
You definitely see a group of kids that are like one's like using this little wand of like prestidigitation or something to like clear off this like graffiti on the wall, like this little like school group that's doing it. even at this
Down-
early hour.
Down an alley, you see a teenager like adding some graffiti magically.
Yeah, a vicious cycle.
How are they graffitiing? Is it stencil? Are they using brush?
Yeah,
You're talking about
They
aerosol?
yeah, they're out there with like a full like can of like paint of some kind, like a brush, and they're just like painting on the walls. There's no spray cans, like
Right.
they're doing
They're
it fast.
defacing good old fashioned vandalism. All right, I like it.
Yeah. So your party, once you kind of hit the interior portion of the the middling portion of the city, you start to go your separate ways. You guys you split up Dakota and Beep, or wrote Dakota and Beep. That's hey Roman.
My immersion.
Yeah, it was all riding on that.
We went for
Taylor,
max difficulty for DM.
head towards the Church of Joaquin has its like main building like just basically just off the main bazaar. And if you want to go to like find an HQ or like find like muckety mucks to talk to, that's where you would want to go. There are like other like they have like functionary like temples and stuff like civil stuff like throughout the city, but like the actual like church and temple proper is there.
I don't mind speaking to maybe less official folk, but Beep,
Yeah.
do you have a preference and direction?
I'm just came along for the ride, and we're Fight Club buddies.
Yeah, let's maybe avoid official HQ at the moment. Let's see if we can't find like just a small temple or chapel somewhere to just kind of touch base with whatever official serving as any official kind of contact there may be there with the goings on. And considering I'm kind of arriving in the same kind of unofficial headspace, like I'm not trying to make too many waves, just kind of get my bearings, say hello. Maybe someone says something about us. Maybe get a word going about us being around fucking beep boop and this radiant half elf floating around. But yeah, no, we'll look for a smaller place to kind of get our morning prayer in.
Okay, cool. And Noose and Nostrum, you're going to be heading into the shadows, looking for some information and some scuttlebutt. Looking for anything in particular with your venture?
Maybe like how these extracurricular activities started downstairs, or maybe who's in charge of them.
Yeah.
Trying to see if there's any what the recreational drugs are like in town, and where the flow of those drugs are coming from.
Yeah.
See what their exchange rate for crystal blue is.
No. No one's talking about crystal blue.
Okay. Sorry. It's a fun thing to keep track of. That's all. Let's see what they like.
I got a dime bag left, man. I'm not willing to just part with it.
No, it's not going anywhere. It's yours. I just, who doesn't like to understand the markets? Anyway.
And Nazira and Quilla, you'll be heading towards Gam's house after stopping by the shrine.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm in at least a moderate hurry to get to games.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So no extensively thorough search for Cheverath shrine. Got it.
I think I'd go like to the the pluralistic shrine that I know of, but a quick visit is all I'm looking for.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay. Well, why don't we start then? We'll start then with we'll go Nazir and Quilla here. You guys head towards the shrine, this shrine to many gods that has, like you said, that place to add or install a deity not yet featured. And you're continuing to work on your crescent moon carving. You guys reach this place and you see this like there are like some that are like these like like walk through this section of like these like sconces in the walls that have these like various like symbols, just very small ones of just like this kind of like where like people like anybody can just like add one to the shelf and like create a tiny like shrine for it in this space. But as you like go further into this space, there are like larger, more established shrines to other gods. You see, of course, like there's a one at the door basically to Joaquin, just as kind of like an homage to the god of this city before it goes into all these others that are welcome here, as Joaquin does not discriminate so much. And yeah, Nazira, you see countless icons and carvings to deities that many of which I'm sure you recognize. You begin, kind of curiously looking around to see what interesting pieces and things you might find. You can give me an investigation check as you, or rather, I feel like this is investigation, but you can do a religion check or investigation here as you look through here. Quilla, as you look through, like this is definitely like much as you remember it. There's probably a few new carvings, a few new idols that you don't recognize, or that are new since your last arrival or your last visit here. Are there any pieces that you go to seek out? Any pause and even as you take a moment here? Anything that you go to look for?
I mean, I know I won't find anything of Mayloon. But I would look to see if there's something for Salune. Um, and somewhere near there, if there is, I'm gonna finish this little carving, and what I'm envisioning is like I picked a stone that was kind of flat and really, really round. Great stone for skipping. Um, and I've just like roughed like a crescent shape around one edge. So it's like most of the stone is smooth, but there's like a crescent that's just sort of like, uneven and rough. And then um I'm gonna pour a little bit of I think it's probably reasonable that I have like a little oil or whatever in a container of some sort. So I'm gonna pour a little oil on the crescent part and try to like just get it in the crescent and then burn it so that that part just gets a little like scorched dark.
Yeah.
Um and then so I'm gonna just kind of do that to it and then place it on a little altar spot or shrine spot kind of near Salune.
Yeah. Yeah, you find a spot that's like uh just opposite Saloon on the wall. So it's like just across the
Yeah.
way, and you can see like there's the way it's like set up, like it's just kind of like perfect where the Saloon spot the sconce like has some light from the torch like in this pillar just like spilling out across that side, and meanwhile like the spot for building that you found is like just in this shadow cast by the same light, and it's set up just kind of opposite each other in this little spot. um and yeah, what'd you get on your roll, Sarah?
Oh, I got a 21
21.
investigation.
uh There, you don't, yeah, you don't see an idol to Cheverath. You see, several though idols to various more friendly elements of the Elven pantheon. But there is one that you a thing that you find that catches your curiosity. Um, and that is it looks like just like a similar to this, like not it's like similar to what Quilla was just working on, like this like stone disc. And it has on it web, a web like a spider's web
Mm,
over like the outer edges of it, but the interior of it has instead it has, I think, a what looks to be like like this like a flower that like that you immediately recognize as being related to oh my god, what kind of had it in my head and then it went away. Elistray.
oh, I know who that is. I thought I didn't know who that is.
Oh wait, oh shit. Yeah. Uh Sorry. This is yeah. So spoiler. Um you find like this is it is it's you see this flower like that, you know, like it's you get this connection to it, that is it's connected to like elven, like specifically like the drow lore. There is like this flower that blooms, you know, it's pretty rare on the surface, it only blooms like under a new moon, uh but it's found more commonly in the underdark. um it's called just like the Night Shadow Lily.
Willa, do you recognize this emblem?
Do I recognize it?
I don't think so. You give me a religion check.
Cool. I'm gonna say probably not because I just rolled a 4. Yeah, and I'm not religious. Despite
Yeah.
being the first apostle. I 4. So no.
Are there any attendants to this shrine?
No, nobody's like at it right now, but you see that there is someone has come here and lit a candle to it in the
Okay.
past. Candle, like there's a burnt down stump of a looks to be like a some uh heavy waxen candle that with a, you know, thick wick. Um but
I'm going to take out some paper and write something like, "Who is this?" and fold it up and put it under the thing.
yeah, you
And
leave
then
that
what? Yeah,
yeah,
leave a
you leave
note.
that like you do like under the icon itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see that like there's the candle itself, like it what you notice like specifically about the candle is that like it is on top of a spot that has seen multiple candles melt down. Like somebody has come and lit this
Okay.
on multiple occasions. Like this is not the first candle. Like there's definitely a reoccurring visitor here that's doing something.
And then I'll leave that note, and I will also take out one of my own idols to Sharavash and say, "You owe me, Quilla," but I will also make a shrine to Sharavash because that's lacking, just because.
Excellent.
Just, we're doing our part.
He swore never to smile until the drow are vanquished.
Uh, excellent. Uh, Tayron Beep, as you guys, Nazira, Quilla, you leave the shrine and head towards Windblown House, the
Yeah.
headquarters of the clan. Tayron and Beep, you guys head into the town and start looking out for a place to check out the Church of Joaquin. You quickly, like, it's definitely very easy to find like one of their little outposts, especially as like you get closer to the interior of the city where there are like you could definitely like go to one of like the more like places that are like meant like little spots that are meant for like collecting tolls and stuff. They're a little like HQ for that. Or you could like go in deeper into the city where you would expect to find more like the other like civil service stuff that they do, as well as like the like exchange, the guardians of exchange, like the people that like will come with like, that's 2 grams over or underweight. You can go to one of those spots as well, but that's deeper into the city, closer to the bazaar. Which sort of like venue, which sort of place would you guys want to go to?
I'm looking for the first church I find of theirs outside of the ghetto.
Okay.
So like we're coming through the ruins.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see their representation in the worst parts of the city.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, you head out to or start heading deeper into the city, and you quickly kind of peel off from the group as your attention is drawn to it's just called a house of exchange, one of these little outposts of the Church of Joaquin. You see that like what draws your attention, like with that, like you just told me, like this definitely like in the outskirts of the city, like there, like you see this place like before you even see like your first like toll house place. So this is like a spot that you think like probably it's like out past where they're even expecting to like be able to collect any money or like from business going on. So you go roll up to that spot and check it out, and you see that it's like definitely in a state of a little bit of disrepair. There is where even at this point in the city, like some of the like the graffiti had started like having been like obviously have been like cleaned up, or like there's less frequently displayed. This place, this temple, like, or this church, or this house of exchange, its exterior is like one half of it is like clearly like reclaimed old ruin, and the rest is like built up on like around that. And you can see that there's like it's like covered in graffiti, like all like anti imperium stuff. It is all the slogans that you've seen previously here as well, and with no sign of it having been any attempt to have it washed away. In fact, like as you approach, like you see like one of these like one of these groups of like little kids on a day field trip to go clean up the city, you young squirts. Learn some civic pride. They're being directed by some teacher or something, who's probably also like in the Church of Joaquin garb, as they like help facilitate this. But like there's like there's a group of like like 3 children that kind of walk up, and they're kind of like moved away from the group of the rest of the other kids, and they're like go to start scrubbing this thing kind of half-heartedly, and somebody comes out of the church, the house of exchange, in like Joaquin robes, and says, "Hey, get out of it, you leave it, kids, you leave it." And like shoos the kids off, and they just like laugh at him, like run off, like throw a stone back, and just like don't really care. They run off to do something else. And this priest, and just like older guy, kind of like very like thin, like steps out, and like after like shooing off the kids, like in kind of a huff, like looks and sees you two.
Well met, sir. How are you?
Good morning to you.
I'm new in town. This looks like a place of worship. It's morning. I was here for a prayer if your doors are open.
the doors of the House of Exchange are always open for prayers, for any other services the church can provide. What brings two fine gentlemen such as yourselves, like giving like a quite a moment of a question to Beep Boop as you assesses your soul forged person.
I can't see it at the moment. I'm still dressed in my piratey cloak.
Yeah.
So most of my body
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
out right now. You can see my head, obviously, very robotic, but the rest of it's very
Travelers.
piratey cloaked.
Yeah.
You see, my friend, well-crafted fellow. But we were thinking of coming in town. We heard this is a market town. We thought maybe it'd be a good place for finer materials, some things we needed for my friend, but also some other projects we got going on. So we thought we'd come check out this town. But it's been a while. Been on the road. The warm halls of a temple would kind of soothe some of the things that have been rattling around in my mind. So I figured I'd make my way.
Find rest here, my friend. Of course. And PASA, if you're looking for trade, is an excellent place to find it.
Yeah, do you have any suggested areas that you like to check out? I mean, like I said, we're looking for some pretty. We got an eye for the rare items. I mean, for all kinds of projects we're up to, but realistically, you know, you don't mind spending money looking for certain things.
Yeah, give me a persuasion check.
25.
25. He says, exotic, looking for interesting exotic things. PASA's full of exotic things these days. And spilling over with gold. If fortune is all you seek, I'm sure you'll find it here.
No fortune.
But I'm beginning to think that petty fortune is not all that's brought you to PASA. Warriors such as yourselves.
Yeah.
Do not look
I'm a
like you
warrior.
want for money.
Not necessarily. No, but like I said, we keep a few irons in the fire, and some things require exotic materials, and this is a trade town, so. But regardless, I mean,
Warhorse
any place to
parts?
trade is good. Yeah, yeah, we following this guy around, like I get into a fair amount of trouble. But if you think of anything, don't like I said, we'll find our way around. But realistically, just get this morning duty out of the way here.
Come inside. Surely you'll pray at our altar. Church is yours. PASA, it's a dangerous place right now. You will find a cellar for almost anything you can imagine here, for better and certainly for worse. He, leads you inside to this kind of shabby little temple, where you can see just like a few other people are in there, a few other like Church of Joaquin people like look to be in there, just like providing just like in this case like basic like like some basic like health services, like they're doing some like basic like healing of wounds and sickness and stuff in here, and this place, he just said this, PASA is like flowing with gold right now. It is not flowing through this building. It is a shabby little place doing what little it can at the edges of town. you notice that like even their like priestly garments are kind of just like worn and threadbare, but you've noticed yeah, that could just be explained just by the busy, harried nature of the church. You don't know if like this place itself is like it seems a little bit off that this place has that like it's anyway. It seems a little bit off, or like that this place is maybe not the church or the outpost that is held in the highest regard by the Church of Joaquin in PASA.
How's the interior compared to the exterior? Is it well kept otherwise inside?
It definitely like clean. It's
Yeah.
like clean and stuff, and like kept well enough. But it's a little bit definitely a little bit threadbare.
What's the bulk of your work here generally? You seem to tell by your tone you have no shortage of disdain for how the funds flow through the city. It's certainly the outskirts out here, but what is the bulk of the work that you do for the church? I mean, you seem very knowledgeable, very welcoming, obviously, thank you. But
My duties are limited these days.
Mm.
Out here, we've seen fit to serve all those that don't have a place within the market, that do not have the coin to participate in the activities of the city. That's been the job of this outpost for some time. But I'm fairly new to it, and find it hard to spend my days cloistered here.
can imagine. Yeah. Well, thank you for keeping the doors open. I appreciate it. But yeah,
Come in from the south, from the east, from the lake.
from the lake. Yeah, we spent actually a lot of time on the lake.
Mm.
But yeah, we tend to do a little bit of ferrying once in a while. If we can help it, but uh, been without a ride for a while, so gotta kind of make do. But yeah, you know what? I won't take any more of your time. Thank you. I'll come find you if I have any more questions. But thank you for showing us inside. I do appreciate. And please, if you have any insights from my friend on where to find good wares, we're always looking for Warforged parts. He might want to speak to you if you have any kind of insight on those things. I'm unfortunately terrible at explaining the things that he needs. Find the closest kneeling pedestal, and just take out my own token of worship.
Mhm.
And have a moment for prayer.
Yeah. I think you do a little prayer, you reach out to the dreamer. You give me an insight check or a religion check, your choice.
Go religion. Not great. 13.
13. You feel a pull, a thread, you feel an uncomfortableness. The dreamer is reaching out to communicate something. A thread is being pulled. Danger is approaching you and your party once again at the whims of Sister Rememberer.
That's those words, or that's my inclination.
Your inclination, that spider sense, like the warning, that was attempted to be given to you last time before the Dracolich arrived. Like that tingles again, and you sense like
No.
something is afoot with your party here in the city.
Immediately, everyone And I try to calm myself and steel myself knowing this.
Mm-hmm.
Finish my prayer and thank the dreamer. Otherwise, ask for strength and courage in these moments and just prepare myself mentally.
Yeah.
No, we shouldn't have fucking scried. Damn it.
Bifu,
Real quick, before I left the group, or before the group split up, I think I would just to mention to Nas, for Frostby, he could check in. There's a apothecary that might at least have some contacts, if nothing else. A guy named Sharpie.
Sharpie.
Yeah, Sharpie's a apothecary. If that doesn't mess things up for you, Mark.
no, that's all good. Cool. Beepoop, as Tehran is doing a prayer and talking to this guy, anything that you do while you're in here, or outside or inside the House of Exchange?
I'm mostly looking around this place just to see who's here and make sure that nobody is watching us. I'm looking out for anybody eyeing us as, my friend prays.
Yeah. You look around the space and like you get a couple, like you and Tehran get a couple glances, but people mostly just like go back to their own concerns and are left alone, except for one member of the church who is like looking right at you, Beep Boop. Like you are doing this kind of like survey around, looking around, and like you catch them just like very much like eyeing you up, like sizing you up, like some amount of like like intent, like assessment of you.
Just checking out my buff legs.
Absolutely looking at those buff legs. Can't get enough.
I was looking at your butt wheels.
They notice. Do you try and like unless otherwise indicated, they'll probably notice you like looking at them or seeing them looking at you. Like there will be some recognition unless you want to try and avoid that and like approach some other way.
No, I make it painfully obvious that I'm looking at him as I like start to step
Yeah.
closer. Do I recognize, like, is his robes just like the same as everybody else's?
Yeah, a little bit threadbare. Church of Joaquin, with like this, that has like kind of like this hem stuff that looks like on close notice, like piles or like not piles, but like falling coins. Lots of gold and like currency like motifs and stuff here in the temple. This person, this young man, like this like young temple functionary or something, notices you, like realizes that they've been like staring at you obviously and that you've noticed, and they come up to you. They begin to approach pretty quickly with like a a maybe embarrassed like expression across their face or something, but they're definitely like moving up to you and see. Hello, my friend. You are are a construct or a soul forged?
Um, this is, I mean, I'm a construct, yes. What about the soul forge?
With the recent opportunity that has come to PASA, it has brought people of particular interests. I do not believe that you are entirely safe in the city. There are there are collectors who, from the Imperium, that are after all sorts of old and ancient or unknown or novel magics and artifacts. You would not be the first non-biological person or entity to go missing in this city. I caution you to be safe.
Has anybody not looked into this?
He frowns. He says, the master of weights and measures has little time, and many of the contracts that come from this new money are binding, are solid, are indisputable. And I don't mean to be rude in any way, but there are constructs that, under the contracts the Imperium merchants and traders have signed, the constructs in many cases are, he like looks at you like looks very apologetically, are mere property according to those, and fall under purview of those contracts. And the church has found in cases that that there is no technical wrongdoing in some of these cases, as the owner or the creator of the construct, they've, through some deal they've made, has lost rights, they've lost property, that the Imperium has been able to collect.
As deftly as possible, I get up from prayer and I circle behind this guy.
It's kind of
So
fucked up.
he's between me and Beepu.
Mm-hmm.
And I just ask him, I'm like, and what about you? How do you feel about constructs in your city?
All are welcome in PASA according to Our Lady of Liberty.
We wouldn't have to worry about you knowing my friend is here, right?
Me, no. The priest you spoke to earlier sees the consternation, and this fellow steps up and says, this is why many of us are so far afield, so are at the edges of this temple at the edge of the city. We have not found, or we have found our place, our concerns constantly rejected or minimized by the church.
I remove my gaze from him, almost apologize. I understand, thank you. Speak to, what's the name of the first man we met?
Oh
Did
yeah,
you get a name on him?
I think he did, but he says name is Braden Harvey. I was a former arbiter of exchange at the Grand Bazaar.
Did you say Harvey?
Ooh.
Such a demotion.
Indeed.
No wonder he's grouchy.
Yeah.
Well, I excuse me if I'm protective over my friend. People start talking about ownership, but you guys seem like good people here, so I don't want to make things difficult. We'll be on our way. Can you said you're an arbiter of exchange at the Grand Bazaar? I obviously we're looking for some things, and I don't want to get you involved in a jackpot you're not interested in. Give me any pointers about where we'll have to go to look for some of these exotic materials we're after.
It says, he describes like in the Grand Bazaar, you will find, pretty much anything that money can buy. You just need to, any of the church functionaries, if you can find any that aren't, so you could direct you to any place. He says that, it's been some weeks since I last held my position there, and the bazaar has been changing rapidly with all new money, all the new trade coming in from the Imperium from somewhere up there to the west. It was never clear to me exactly how they were bringing so much goods and how they could, honestly, how they could afford to sell it so cheap here in PASA. It says if PASA has never been a better market for finding anything that you might seek, but know that whatever you find in the bazaar is, if you are concerned with the moral implications of the danger your friend is in, then perhaps it might give you a second thought before you spend your money in this place.
Yeah. Okay. Again, I appreciate all your info. Yeah. Thank you, Brayden. I appreciate it. Come on, beep boop. Let's get out of here before they turn you into parts.
I was
What
about
was his name?
to,
Brady?
Braden.
Brayden.
Braden Harvey.
Braden
Uh,
I was
Braden
about
Harvey.
to say,
and
do you know how to get a hold of a collector to tell him that you found something interesting?
looks at you like, yeah, immediately like gives a glance to because this the younger the functionary, the guy that like talked to you, gives a glance to Braden. He says, we know who might be able to, and we also, well, Braden may remember some names of people, some of the Imperium traders bringing in exotic things and taking out exotic things.
Yeah, set a trap.
Do
We can give you some names.
these folks usually hunt in ones or multiples?
Don't know how they hunt. No, just that there have been some claims of constructs going missing, and then people refusing to follow up with the church to pursue restitution. We've seen in those cases that they do that the arbiters of the church determine that the contracts are valid and that there's nothing that they can do. We don't know.
Perhaps you could let some of your contacts know that there's something interesting happening at the fighting tournament in the other city. Maybe some people might show up.
We could.
I dropped like 10 gold in a bucket.
Your offering is generous. We appreciate it. It is unnecessary for the task at hand. We would be happy to. They like look at the two of you, and once again recognizing very well, like powerfully equipped to like warriors. We could, if you want to find these traders, we could let people know that they might find something interesting in the fighting pits today. Construct a war machine.
Very powerful war machine. Ancient.
You heard him. We'd appreciate it.
Cool.
Still doing my best to hide all of my gear that's just clanging around on my armored body, just with a black cloak, just like couldn't stick out anymore. Like,
Yeah.
Did you get the names from them?
we got the one, got Braden. Yeah, sorry, yeah. What was the Laura?
Yeah, there's a new he says that they'll definitely be able to put rumors out that a construct is going to be at the fighting pits. He mentions like a few trading companies that are coming out of the Imperium, including a new one that's like they mentions like first the Coin Maiden's Will, which is another reference to Joaquin. And
Interesting.
The Coin Maiden's Will.
yeah,
Church of Jesus, Church of Joaquin.
and I think is that time. Why don't we go real quick as you guys, Tehran and Beep, you leave the church and head, I think, like deeper into the city. Um, uh, give me a perception check.
It's gonna be bad. It is bad. 6.
Uh, 17.
17. Beep Boop, you're on a little bit on edge, like looking around, keeping an eye to any strangers or anybody that might mean you any harm. You see a pair of people that eye you on your approach. Suspicious already. You glance back as after you walk past them, and they have like dislodged from this group that they are with and begin following you. And with that roll, you see that the both of them, they both like more or less like the same time, they take a two like identical bottles from their from their bags.
Oh shit.
These like stone vials that like as they uncork them, they and take these drinks. You can see like an almost like immediate like visible growth in their size, and they
God
begin
damn it.
moving faster in your direction. Uh, and just on the edges of your perception, you hear the crying of countless children, thanks to Jared, far, far
God
away.
damn it. That's fucking shit, pieces of shit.
As these two just
Oh.
walk certain potions constructed by Jared, and have arrived and begin to pursue you. You can tell immediately, I think, not very subtle approach. They mean you.
Over.
And I don't think this party is actually like. I don't think you guys have actually like in game like come across potions of vengeance before?
Um,
I think that's been other characters, other groups.
I think so.
Other like one shots.
Yeah.
Those are the potions made out of orphans, though, right?
Yeah.
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 From
Yeah.
Othello.
Delicious.
Yep.
Delicious
The
orphan
juice
aid.
has arrived in PASA.
Don't they create a revenant if you kill him or something?
I'll never tell. But yes, they do.
fucking shit. Over Rory's,
And
you just hear people going, fuck, 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 fuck.
Uh-oh. We might have to make a side trip.
Well, that's quicker than I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. Excellent. Well, next time we'll see what other hijinks occur in the city and if the party's 2 members shorter before you reunite.
No.
Mark really wants to kill me.
I'll finish you off one of these days. If it takes 1,000 vengeance potion revenants, I'll do it.
The souls of 1,000,000 orphans. So dark.
All right, Joel. Good night.
Good night,
GG's.
everyone.
Yeah, glad you were able to join us.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are up next. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, hope
Yeah.
you can make it
Yeah.
next week.
Later, y'all.
Night.
Good night.